you might want to try. You can try going to low performance mode. So if you go to configure settings on the last tab on the right.
By the way, while I am fixing some stuff, we are live, so everyone can hear us.
Oh, we're live now? Jeez. You didn't even tell us you hit the timer.
It was 10 a.m. and the event went off in Discord. I thought you were all paying the fucking attention.
Jesus. Mira shows up like right as we go live.
The second.
I haven't even.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, you're late, Marius. Everyone's here. The screen isn't even on the right scene because I had it in studio mode to fix shit. So everyone can hear us, but it's still the starting soon scene. Now it's not because I've swapped it over to the correct scene. And hello, everyone. Welcome to Unlucky Rolls. I am Trisky. I run the channel. We are an organized channel. We say this every time, and it remains true every time because I am not lying out of my teeth. How are y'all doing?
With the Discord server while you are fixing everything.
Oh yeah, that is a good idea too. Now it's not because I've swapped it over to the correct scene. And hello everyone.
Everyone's like
I'm looping everything. Yeah, everything on itself. I meant to post the fucking chat. We say this every time, and it remains true every time. Just the stream URL. How are y'all? I'm keeping on talking. Oh yeah, that is a good idea.
It's a good day.
There we go. I fixed it.
Great.
We're here, everyone, back with our annual game of Tales from Blackstone.
Don't curse it that badly. Fuck off.
Yeah, how has everybody's January been?
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It's almost already over. We got like what, 3 days?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Jesus shit.
New head of phonies, but their mic is scuffed. Is more scuffed than this one if I want to use it.
Oh God!
Don't use the funny mic, please.
Well, I keep trying to line up the World Eaters game with the World Eaters release, and they just keep pushing back the miniatures. So we have to keep pushing back the game. You know, it's just the thing
that makes perfect sense.
Well.
Yeah, it's all a strategy. We were planning this the whole entire time. We're totally not just incompetent.
Fuck you, I'm buying the trait which gives me fucking rat point whenever someone bleeds or gets critted.
We start the next season of the show when the lion finally gets brought back into canon.
Yeah, dude. That'd actually be a sick way to start the next season of the show, to be honest.
Maybe.
With whatever the new lore is for 10th edition, that'd be hot.
When who gets into canon?
Lion.
Oh, Lion. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Anywho, real quick things that I want to go over before we get started with the real thing. This pedal does not want to cooperate properly. First things first, I've been saying this at the beginning of other sessions, and I will say it again here. Join our Discord. I finally have a proper vanity URL that makes it easier, so it's dsc.gg/unluckyrolls. Join the Discord, say hi, nerd around with us. Okay, cool.
We play lots of RPGs. We just played Pathfinder 2nd Edition last night for the first time and did a little learning game, and it was pretty fun, and nobody showed up.
So we should fix that.
What happened? I'm gonna explain what happened there really quickly. I played the closest I could get to a Slayer, and Trisky played a dwarf priest.
I was a cleric, and everything went wrong for me.
Trisky was cosplaying laying on the ground the rest of the
Yeah, he was cosplaying Dead Peter Griffin.
Oh God.
Meanwhile, I was just having the best of times.
It was quite a disparate experience.
Jesus.
But yeah, that was an off-stream session that we did, and we invited everyone, and nobody showed up. So if you join the Discord and you notice those things, you can join. But yeah, alas, that is that. In other news, on another subject and in another world, I am going to invite us here to do our little intro thing for everyone. And starting off with, at the beginning and top of the chat, we have our elf nerd.
That's me. Oops. Hi, everyone. I'm Chrono the I'm Chrono the Harlequin. I go by Chrono the Harlequin on one channel and Live from the Black Library on another channel because I just keep making more channels. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think
you
that you
like-
should make
Who the fuck
another
are you
channel.
playing? You dumb
What?
bitch.
The what?
Yeah, I was just asking if you wanted to make a new channel to describe how addicted to making channels you are.
Yeah.
I
The
think that you
channel
should
making
make a.
experience.
I think that you should
No.
make a channel about headphones. Honestly,
Just like
Yeah,
the
make a
those
tech
fucking
review channel.
just mix as many things as I can. Just like the tech review, tech destruction, tech rant, and then those
Yeah.
videos where you put like a piece of you put like a pair of headphones on public and
Yeah.
see who steals it.
I know. You make headphones channels as an Eldar, and then you have a rival who's from the fucking Slaneshi boys,
well,
Noise
anywho.
Marines. Noise Marines,
Anywho.
anyway.
It's for the noise.
You failed to introduce your fucking character, you dipshit.
I play Safar Shitanisei, the Harlequin Initiate.
You
Good
should make a channel
job.
for him too.
We haven't played for like 3 months. We don't.
We
are,
don't remember
very
who we are
qualified.
anymore.
I don't remember who I am anymore. Which is
Speaking
fitting
of
for Safar.
introducing ourselves, hey,
Hey.
you European nerd, introduce yourself.
Fuck you, I'm Eastern European. Anyway, yes, I am Marius. I'm playing Sator, the Navigator, and Navigators are the fucking core of the Imperium, which helps them up because they do warp travel shenanigans while being psychers, while not being psychers. And I have to write arms and drugs.
Yes, that is a very apt description of you. Next would be the epitomis, at least if we were still in the old system, Rogue Trader.
Hey, I'm Reaper Joe. I play Rogue Trader Holtz. I do not have any channels. Yeah, this is the
Yeah,
only place you can find me.
Don't worry, I'll get him to start editing for this channel, and then it'll be partially his, and then I'll have investment issues.
Anyways, yeah, that's me.
I like how he doesn't
Hopefully.
even accept or deny it.
Holtz is going to get turned into the fucking
Fifth Chaos God.
Underhive, but for ship worker. Yeah, also that. Holtz
And,
is
I'll
going
just
to be
take over the channel.
true.
Yeah, fair enough. You're already the main character. It's about the next step. Last but not least of the players in this campaign would be, well, actually no, arguably least. Hi, I'm Trisky. I play Gizmek, Scrapmangle de Guillotine, the Orc Mech Boy of the Blackstone, and I do the dumbest shit on purpose. So, hello, welcome back. Last but not least of all of us would be our lovely GM.
Hello, I'm Six. I'm GMing for these fools. And I'm thinking about starting a new 40K strategy channel with the new season of the competitive game coming out, but no channels yet.
That would be epic.
That would be really cool.
I'm a big 40K tournament player. I had to completely redo my army for the next season, but it's almost ready to go. So I'm ready to start.
There was a funny thing. Sorry, quick aside. There was a funny thing. Someone they made a mistake when they released the point values for Marines recently, where they accidentally made, I think it was the intercessors, not intercessors.
In Inceptors, they made the plasma guns free.
Yeah,
which is
free.
ridiculous.
So someone bought like 10 of them and assembled them only for GW to release the patch, and then they just posted a picture of all their half-made ones with the caption, well, shit.
Yeah, meta chasers never prosper is really the...
I've said it once before, and I'll say it again. Eat shit, meta humper.
We are in the patch meta for 40K, which didn't exist when I was young.
Patch meta.
Exactly. We're in the patch meta.
Anyways, hello, Mr. GM. Would you please recount what the fuck happened last session?
Yeah, I can do a little recap. You know, we can We can talk about what happened last time if you guys want to.
Nah. All right, and everyone, that's the end of the session.
Yeah, let's go home. Okay. So
that was a really good session, guys.
Is in an effort to continue your spree of basically intersecting all of the major factions of the area to Karsoka and its spooky problems. Holtz decided to try to bring the World Eaters into this giant fight. I mean, they want to be there. It makes sense. So y'all went to the system where you first encountered the World Eaters in the side of the Cicatrix and found a wreck. A piece of their ship had fallen off and had landed on the planet. And you all investigated. You set up a huge perimeter around the place. You have all of your troops, all of your Space Marines. You have your night contingent patrolling the area, and the group of you went inside. You found a inverted ziggurat like worship site, and Sator accidentally started the chaos ritual, which summoned a bunch of Khorne demons, including a herald of Khorne on a blood crusher, which is pretty sick. Basically, like a giant walking metal like ox with like a blade for a horn. And the group of you basically are bleeding through from every orifice after dealing with this horrible set of foes. And as the group of you started to leave the starship, the World Eaters appeared in the sky and have started to land drop pods all around you and your forces. So this session begins with, or maybe ends with, a race to your shuttles to get off of the planet before the World Eaters destroy you.
So as we begin, and I'm getting this announcement that this like through like Vox grapevines that the World Eaters are in system. I would like to invoke my talent Paranoia to figure out why they're suddenly here.
Well, it makes some sense that they would be able to feel this ritual that you all activated and through some warp shenanigans appear right where the portal opened up.
Okay, so it was
So
it's all Sator's fault.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
All right. Well.
And it also should be known we're all barely clinging to life at this point.
Hey, I have 3 full hit points. I don't know what you all.
I think that I'm actually completely fine. Let me double check.
Yeah, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're the one that's fine, and you started this whole shit.
Yep.
It's all Sator's fault.
Bitch.
Well, I mean, with that mystery solved, we're just like, okay. I give the order.
I would like to clarify that Sator actually starting this shit was hilarious because he says, those look like some terrifying and dangerous runes. I better not reading them, because if I did read them, it would probably go something like this. And the trigger.
And then it's like, what would it be like if I read them? And then I read them, and because I kept going on that thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
You were caught in a thought trap where if you think about reading the runes, you begin reading the runes. So,
yeah.
That was a fun. That's a fun chaos trap. They love doing that shit. So let me describe the bedlam happening outside a little bit. You can see up in the sky. The sky has gone like a red color as some sort of like filter like goes over the star. There are a number of triangular chaos warships hanging in the air. 8 in a circular 8-pointed star formation. And all around the site, there are these drop pods landing. They don't look the same as Space Marine drop pods, which sort of look like a bullet. The Chaos drop pods kind of look like a claw with thrusters, so they don't just like slam into the ground. They use thrusters to like lower their entry, so like they slow down, and then the claws actually lift back off after depositing their troops and fly around shooting at you.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You hear a large slamming noise in the distance, and there's like a wave of dust and rocks as a shockwave sort of slams across the landscape, and there is another night drop ship that has landed, and spiky looking knights have started to emerge, including one which has like the skull of a huge beast chained to the top of it, dual wielding chain swords that are like covered in blood. The chain swords are like the size of like a Empire State Building.
Joy.
I look up. He's like, "That's not our guy, is it? That's not him, right?" I'm losing a lot of blood right now. I'm sorry. I'm a little delirious.
Just we'll leave that to our bigger guns. We need to run.
Yeah. So y'all can see from your high vantage point on this wreck as you guys clamber out of it. All of your like ship-wide forces engaging with the enemy. Here and there, you see splats of bolter fire. You see, all of the very fancy weapons that you've pulled from that wreck of the battleship being used on the actual battlefield. Blasts of plasma, bursts of melta. The frying of cultists, of men, of even the traitor space marines. You can see your own space marine detachment in on one corner of the battlefield. They are apparently looking. They look like they're trying to like clear out a path to the to your guys' shuttle. But it is a hard fought battle. What would you do?
I mean, if they're clearing a path, that we should oblige them and take the path to get to our shuttle.
Okay, so holding on to your various bloody wounds, you start to make your way down this chunk of spacecraft. I'm going to need you all to make some sort of check here. Normally, this would be something that you could just do, but you're all so injured that...
I'm like the only one who isn't injured, but do I even have shock? Nope.
I have no shock, and I have 3 wounds remaining out of 6.
I think all of us came out of shock when Holtz used gallows humor, I think.
Yeah.
But I think most of us are wounded aside from Sator.
Yeah, so everybody make me athletics checks. Difficulty 2, but all of you that are hurting, it's difficulty 3.
Yeah. What's the dice pool?
All right.
Your athletics.
I see.
I'm going to re-roll. Hold on.
Makes sense.
Also,
DN3,
some of the
right?
graphics are glitched for
Yeah.
me, but oh well.
Yeah. If you're injured, it's difficulty number 3.
all right.
Well, 2 shift into 3.
Wow, he got it.
I mean, no matter what, if you are injured, it's supposed to be at a +1, but yeah.
Mine is not letting me adjust it beyond DN4. Then again, I did get fucked up a lot. Oh,
You're good.
just
You
casually
did
roll the
succeed.
glory.
Oh, so Trisky, when you input the DN, put in like the DN that 6 initially says. It'll automatically add the +1 when you're injured. So if you put in DN2, it'll go up to DN3.
Oh yeah, point of order. We've been
yeah,
using
so-
glory rules wrong literally this whole time because I misread it when we first started.
Oh, okay.
I had to reread the rules when I was playing in person. The way that glory works is you can actually spend the glory after you roll, but you have to do it after you would spend wrath to reroll.
Yep.
And also when you grab the glory out of the pool, you grab it all at once so that you can't like grab one and see if it passes and then grab another one and see if it passes. You have to grab like 3 or 4 and then roll.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it is after you roll instead of a 4, so it makes it so that it's more usable,
So it's like, if you only want to try one dice, you only get one chance at rolling, and you don't get another one.
Right. There's like one period where you're allowed to grab dice, and then after that, that's the success or failure.
Gizmek
that doesn't
glory,
prove.
by the way.
But you don't get to re-roll them with wrath, so that's a thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gizmek
So
did earn us a glory though, so that's nice.
yes, you guys have a glory in the pool. You actually can have 2 glory in the pool if you want to shift that 6 Gizmek, or you can use that 6 to increase the speed at which y'all get down this cliff.
Let's get down the cliff faster.
Yeah.
Also, Holt's only got the 1 success.
So Gizmek is like, he's a strong orc, and so he starts to like maneuver
picks
way
up
down
bullets.
this chunk of spaceship, and in doing so, he leaves like little like dents in the metal that you all are using to get down the face significantly faster. And so soon the 4 of you are on the planet's surface. The air is filled with weapons fire. Now and then, like a bullet will sprinkle the ground near the group of you. As you're walking towards your shuttle, the Space Marines like close in rank. Gosh, what's that guy's name? My notes.
Victor Brom?
Sorry?
Invictor Brom?
Yeah, Invictor Brom. So Invictor Brom strides up to the group of you, rips his helmet off to communicate in standard 40K fashion.
Yep.
And starts to scream over the din of battle. He says, "What the hell happened in there?" Over like the winds like rushing around, and he points down this like rocky path where there's a shuttle underneath like a tent, that's like wavering around in the wind. He says, "We're trying to devote a path to you. Just head down that way."
Yeah, initially, as a response of just what the hell happened, Gizmek just turns, points at Sator, and just like, "You did it."
I think all of us do that.
Demons.
So Holt says, like, I thought our goal was to get the world eater's attention. We succeeded. Once we get in the air, we'll try and give you some air supports, but we won't be able to do much until we get back to the ship.
Yeah, he screams, "Understood," and open, and then like quickly swivels, and then opens up with his bolt pistol, and then the round like explodes inside the chest of some screaming human, and his torso like lands like near the group of you, and his legs land on the other side. And he gets back into the fight.
You with the men. Move.
Yeah, so you start to head down. I believe you also had a pair of honor guard with you.
Yeah, we had some
Yeah.
troopers with us.
I think so. I think some of our troopers did die, but we do have some left.
Yeah, and you start to head down this path, and as you do so, I'm going to spend a point of ruin here.
Epic.
And there's a flash in the sky, and you see a massive claw enter the atmosphere, significantly larger than all the other ones that have been landing all around. And it comes crashing down right in front of you all, on top of your shuttle.
Of course.
Yeah. And it immediately, like, the doors pop open as you're all dealing with the shock of the situation, and enemies just pour out of this this vehicle.
Okay, when you say enemies, what exactly are they? Are they like cultists, or are these like World Eater Marines?
A combination of both.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna try something here. I was actually on these guys' ship for a little while.
That's true.
So I have been staring at them and watching them. So if I'm going to try and either... No, I'm not going to be able to convince them we're on their side. That's fucking stupid. Thinking fast here, racking my brain. I'm going to try and turn them against each other.
Okay.
I'm going to try and turn them all fighting on each other. Like, say, I'm going to point towards the two largest world eaters that I see in the group, the two largest Marines, and try and like either I'm bullshitting or I'm being honest. Say that he stole his glory or he stole one of his favorite weapons. Like, and I'm gonna use their first names. And let's see if I have them.
Okay.
You called your mom Slaneshi.
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion test, like difficulty 7.
Difficulty 7.
You
What's
just
my dice
hold
pool
the
at?
glory.
Well,
because
let's
somebody
make it
funny as shit.
difficulty 8 for Corn, you know?
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that it's 8. Yeah.
But what's my dice pool? 1?
Whatever your
Yes.
persuasion is, yeah.
Oh, fuck, my dice pool's 1. And I have
Use
plus 1
all of the
difficulty.
glory.
With all the glory. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, I'll
You
use the
didn't
glory.
succeed.
Do not
Okay.
use the glory.
Do not
Okay.
use the glory.
I tried.
Yeah, so like
Oh, there was-
so far like steps forward and begins to speak. And like as he begins to speak, like the weapons fire and everything else is so loud that like nobody can even hear what he says. Like it just he just uses his mouth. Everyone just sees his mouth like open and closed, but like nothing comes out because of how loud the battle is. This does not stop the tide of enemies coming in your direction. As they get close to your position and you guys prepare and you guys get into a battle stance or whatever, you hear the revving of a large chainsword, and battering through comes Sir Bravant, and he's like slices through a huge selection of world eaters and cultists. And towers above you all. His mech like looks down at you, does like a small swivel in your direction, and then continues to fire off into the distance. You think, oh, everything's saved, but then there's another loud stomping sound, and the other knight appears. And the two of them begin to lock chainswords in an epic battle in front of the group of you.
God, if my life wasn't in danger, this would be so cool.
While this is going on, more enemies begin to pile out
Wait.
of the dropship.
Sator is just sort of thinking, wait, you think our life is in danger?
And now the group of you are going to fight these enemies while there are knights stomping around fighting each other on top of you.
Oh God, this is so
Oh
cool.
boy.
So there's a big pile of enemies we're fighting now.
Yeah, so there's going to be a horde of cultists supported by at least one champion of Khorne. And
What did you say, horticulture?
I will randomly roll now and then, and some people are going to get almost stepped on / stepped on by knights as they have a melee fight above you all.
I have an idea. Let me know if this is kosher.
If you don't mind, go ahead first to mention what you wanted.
Are these guys all fighting in a block? Because I was wondering, is it possible that I could try and distract some of the cultists and lead them off and deliberately try to get them stepped on by leading them right under the knight's feet?
Absolutely.
Using my superior agility.
Yeah, so I can split up the horde at any time for any reason.
I'm just gonna try and be obnoxious, like essentially just use vicious mockery to pull away as many of the cultists.
Your bomb's a hoe!
If you don't mind, I would like to first say hello to them using Little Esther.
Yes. Okay, so we're going into initiative order. You have a group of cultists about maybe 90 feet away, with at least one chaos champion in there. It's hard to tell at this distance what you're sort of fighting exactly. It's very, very loud, as basically there are two mechanical monsters dueling each other above you. Now and then a large armored foot will slam down into the earth, knocking over everyone nearby, killing many. And all around you, all your forces are like fighting their own battles. So there's nobody coming to save you anymore.
Yep.
So one of you can go first. You guys have first initiative.
Hello. I would like to use Little Esther if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, don't start solving the problem that you started.
90 feet is like 27 meters according to Google.
Oh, right. We're using metric. They're 30 meters away.
Yes. And the fucking my range for Little Esther is 30 meters.
Incredible.
Another thing to note is that it is sustained, so it's like everyone who comes within the range will be affected by it on my turn again, I suppose, but it would be a bit weird anyways. Select the number of targets to suffer one mortal wound and count as having failed a terror test.
I need to look up the lidless eye, that power.
Yeah.
That's in a book, I think, right?
It's in Jigamajig. I also have it in my notes written down. It's in Pax Imperialis.
Pax Imperialis, that's right.
It's at page 190.
Thank you.
I noted down a bunch of the pages from that book myself just because it doesn't have any markings of what's where.
We probably should put like that into your sheet at some point.
I mean, I did. It's in notes, but yeah.
What page did you say?
190.
Cool. So Sator steps forward, opens his third eye to this group charging you.
Difficulty number is their resolve.
Is it held in my gaze? Is that what you're doing?
No, Little Esther. It's
Little Esther. There it is. I found it. It's on 192.
It's right above it in my notes.
Right. So the difficulty number is the target's resolve, and I don't imagine a cultist resolve is very good.
Yeah.
Let me go to my bestiary here.
There is like an upgraded kind of World Eater cultist called the Jackals. That's new. That's a new thing that came out.
That is a new thing.
Epic.
Also, just a heads up, if I have to leave, don't be alarmed because the street right next to me is just filling with cops and fire engines. They're blocking off the road, and I've actually muted myself a few times because battalions of fire engines have gone screaming past. So something might be on fire.
You really are getting the immersive experience here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so their resolve is 2.
Amazing.
So that's going to be your difficulty number for the block of cultists.
I barely
You
did
succeed.
it. Amazing.
Incredible. Okay. The navigator opens his warp eye fully. Anyone gazing into its depths will witness the power and mind-breaking unreality of the warp. In an instant, they witness the chaos boiling beneath the skin of existence, and for many, it is the last thing they ever see. The navigator chooses a number of targets within range. Power successful. It's funny that it's just like a number of targets.
Yeah, I hate
The targets suffer a single mortal wound and counts as having failed a terror test against the navigator. Incredible. Okay, so I believe all of these guys are 1 wound enemies because they're all. Yes. No, they're not. They are multiple wound enemies.
Just say that some of them die. And some
And
of them
every
run away.
individual in a mob has 1 wound.
Right, they are just 1 wound. Yes. So
Yep.
basically, the lidless stare eviscerates this group of enemies coming towards you. Men fall to their knees, screaming. They're like they clutch their skulls as they pop open. They fall apart against the withering stare of Sator. And in so doing, you see a number of enemies within that group of cultists that are unaffected by his ability. There are 2 large Space Marine men, both of them in no armor. They just have like a tunic on. And there's finally a third in the center. He is quite massive. He's maybe 11 feet tall he's even massive compared to Victor Brahm. He's got a helmet on that's at least 4 feet tall with all sorts of like corn symbols all over it. And he's got 2 large chain axes. And so that's your real enemies that were within this horde coming out of the drop pod. The 3 of them start to jog in y'all's direction. They go 10 meters and end about 20 meters away from the group of you. Still coming in your direction. And now let me roll a dice. Okay, so one of them, as they're running, looks up and has a slightly unnerved look on his face as Sir Bravant's mech wheels backwards and stamps on his location. He has to like jump to the side to avoid it.
Are you sure? Are you supposed to be rolling d8s or? Okay, yeah, he's probably fine.
Yes, he jumps to the side as the foot slams in his location, and he lives. All right, who's next in the order?
Who wants to go next? Pretty much.
I have a plasma pistol, so I'm assuming Gizmek's going to charge. So either like either Safar or I should go probably.
Also, I want to ask: was that the Space Marines? All of their turns combined into one, or?
Yeah, I kind of combined a third of all their turns into one.
Interesting.
So you just want to make it so that we don't just start bashing on them all at once, because, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more narrative sense that they would all like be running towards you at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Going or whatever.
Yeah. Anyways.
The range of my pistol, the max range of my pistol is 18. So I would have to get 2 closer to get into like barely in range.
I think that you should also be able to do an aim.
I'd be able. I think I can't do an aim if I move.
I'm pretty sure if you cannot, that would be only. I'm pretty sure that move is free. I think.
If it's free, okay. If it's free, then yeah, I can still do an aim.
I think that is free.
So you can do, I believe, 1 maneuver or 2 if you take some shock.
I only need to move like 2. So
I might be getting my game systems mixed up because I've been playing way too many
systems
at once here. Let me double check that.
I'm pretty sure that you are confusing it with Genesis.
Yes, I think I am too.
I'm 99% sure that it's like you can have 2 actions and a move.
Yeah, you're thinking Genesis because that kind of shock isn't a thing here.
$178. Yeah, so you can do a movement, an action, and a simple action on your turn.
Yep.
all right. Well, I'm going to move just in range, so long range. I'm going to aim, and I'm going to overcharge my plasma pistol.
I'm pretty sure that long range is outside of the range of the weapon, but whatever.
No, because there's like range bands, right?
Yeah, no, it's short range is 6, normal range is 12, and long range is 18. So if I move 2, I'm just in range.
Yeah, you're just in long, so that'll be +1 difficulty.
Now I forgot the system.
I'm just playing too many different RPGs right now. It's not good.
Yep, this is the burden of running this fucking channel in particular.
Like this weekend, I played Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I'm playing Genesis this afternoon. I'm playing Wrath and Glory today, and I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk Red tomorrow.
Funny.
Yep.
It's so difficult to remember everything.
I'm just looking up overcharge rules because I can't remember. I know it's either +3 ED or plus increases to armor pet.
Yeah, so long range's target gains 2 defense, so he's gonna get it's gonna be +2 to your difficulty.
Let's see.
Aim is when you don't move. You're not allowed to move and aim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can't aim then. That's lame. Combat war gear, weapon traits.
Yeah, I believe overcharging is it just increases the damage, but
all right.
if you roll a critical fail or complication, you take damage, right? Like you take more.
I would if I didn't mastercraft my pistol, which gives me more stuff, and I think mastercraft actually gives me stuff too. It gives me +1 to hit, and if I hit, I get 3 ED. So 3 ED bonus.
Rules. How do they work?
There's just so many.
Give me a weapon skill test. Let me look at the defense on these guys real quick before you roll.
I mean, we can just compare the successes to whatever.
Yeah,
after
you
the
get
roll
plus
anyway.
2 bonus dice to it. So basically, long range is canceled out by Mastercrafted.
Epic.
So
Well, no, because 2 difficulty is worse than 2 extra dice.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I get 2 bonus dice because it's Mastercrafted. Dice pool is 4.
Yeah. So their defense is 5. So you're looking at a difficulty 7 shot.
Which is 8 for me because I'm already
Right, because you're damaged as well.
I literally I have 6 in my dice pool, so I literally can't hit them.
I mean, you can get multiple 6s. You know,
You can technically get them.
I mean, I'll try. I have no reason not to, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not like you can. It's not like
less.
the plasma pistol can explode and murder you or anything.
It can't actually because I have reliable because of Mastercrafted.
Yeah, Mastercrafted don't really they don't blow.
I'm gonna reroll because why not?
Right.
Yeah, you've got Wrath for days.
6 successes. Does anyone mind if I try and spend a glory to see if I can get
Sure, it would be funny.
Go for it. I was hoping to use that in case my little gambit failed because I didn't want to get stepped on. But okay, go for it.
Yeah. I just need a 6. No, I don't get to have fun.
Yeah, so the bolt lands at the rocks before one of these warriors' feet, and they jump backwards as the plasma like bloops over the rock, scalding it and melting it.
Oh, that's my turn.
Yep.
As you move forward into a position, but behind like a rock and fire at these advancing forms, you feel as if a shadow has been cast over you. One of the knights has knocked the other one over and is currently tumbling into your direction. So make me an athletics check.
All of us or just him?
Just Holtz.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let's go. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 3.
All right. I'm probably.
Lose a leg.
Hey, let's go. Oh, it's DN4. I need to reroll.
Oh no!
No.
Okay.
Reroll once doesn't mean reroll once.
We get
it means
one
roll one
glory
again.
for some reason we didn't.
It didn't work for some reason. I'll blame me being an idiot and doing stuff. You're going to take a little damage as this knight careens with you as you try to dodge away. Now, you're only 1 success off, so you're not going to take the full damage.
How do you only take a little damage from what is essentially a falling skyscraper?
Well,
there is something called he steps on the ground and
gets out of the way.
him.
He mostly gets out of the way, but some of the rock shrapnel, as Trisky states, spray up and do a wound to you.
Okay, that makes sense because I'm like, you just only a little bit stepped on.
I can attempt to take that as shock
Good,
because of my.
Yeah.
That is rolling toughness, right? That's just
Determination.
determination, which is toughness.
Yep.
But so and that's. I just need to roll.
Yeah, just roll how many how many successes you roll is how many you convert into shock.
Yep.
And I take 1 shock.
Yes.
And
you convert 1.
then I use gallows humor to try and remove that shock.
Roll your gallows humor.
So make a DN2.
Simple action whenever you are wounded or suffering from a condition. That's weird. Okay, yeah, so you take a simple action out of turn, basically. That's okay.
Roll the complication because it would be funny.
Hey, I did. Something unexpected happens. But I rolled 7 successes.
I'm gonna see what happens. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Okay.
Funny.
Chaos gods are watching for a moment. You feel.
Right. So what does your character say to make them feel better about the fact they got scraped by a bunch of rocks?
Ravint, as much as I feel safe under your shadow, I don't know about your boot. Could you watch your step for me, please?
They don't even realize you're saying anything to them. So the two of them just like continue to tumble and fight above the group of you. As you're standing there, like giving him a lecture, there's a peal of thunder, and you look off into the distance, and you can see like storm clouds starting to like move in. The thunder and lightning have like a red tinted color from the atmosphere, right? Like it has a red tint over it. And as the storm clouds like overcome your position, it begins to rain. But the rain isn't water. You quickly realize as it starts to stain your outfits. It is raining blood upon you.
Gross. Very gross.
As
Very
it begins to
boy-like.
rain blood, you look across at the three forms approaching, and you can see are they like a little bit more muscular than before? It's hard to tell.
Oh.
And they move another 5 meters towards y'all's position. Next person's turn.
I think it's me. I think.
Sir, I have the Berserker trait. Does this technically give me a rat point?
Sky is bleeding, thus you get a wrath bonus. Okay.
BT Dub, I think I can shift 2 of those 6s into glory, which I will do. Unless
yeah. Well, one of them.
it says 2 possible shifts, but
Right, but you can only shift one thing to glory per test.
Double
okay.
check that while the next person is deciding their thing, just in case.
Yeah, you definitely can only shift one wrath, one glory wrath.
All right, well, I replaced the glory.
But if so like normally you can shift for other things, but I don't think you can in this case. So
And there's nothing to shift for.
right, it's not like you can recover in half the time or whatever. Okay, so either Safar or Gizmek.
Go for it, you knife-eared git.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so can I? Is it alright if I like attack first and then move?
Yeah,
Or, like,
you can do it in either order.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is to get their attention. Well, first things first. In preparation for this battle, I've just been so like checked out and upset. As once it started raining blood, I guess it kind of snapped me back to reality. I take off my cloak and actually tie it around my waist to sort of, keep my wounds, in place and sort of hold it back,
Yeah, you gotta hold your guts in a little.
Yeah, for those who don't remember, I was essentially split open, and I have 1 wound remaining.
Yeah, he was nearly vivisected, the motherfucker.
What I'm going to do is, to get their attention, I'm going to aim my pistol at the largest group of cultists. I realize in my state there's nothing I can really do against the Marines themselves.
Oh, the cultists are all dead.
Oh, they're all dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. There's 2 Marines without any armor. They're just wearing like togas, basically.
I see.
And then there's 1 large ass, bigger than the others, significantly larger, in full battle plate.
I don't know how much I can do against him. I'm going to aim for at least 1 of the Marines. At least 1.
Yeah, you can aim for 1 of the Marines, sure.
I'm going to use my... see what my gear. Fuck. I'm going to use my pistol. and I'm going to fire shots at his head to try and get his attention. Specifically, I'm going to try and aim for his eyes.
All right, so that's going to be a called shot. What's the range on your pistol?
Range of 6. No, it says 6, 12, 18.
Okay, so you're gonna have to move. Well, actually, they moved 5 towards you, so they're 15 away. So they're in your long range band right now. You can move forward a little bit for them to be in your medium range band if you'd like.
That would reduce the difficulty for them by 2.
But then you wouldn't be able to aim. But it's better to have the reduced difficulty by 2 than the aim bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll move forward then.
And then a called shot increases the difficulty, but does more damage, basically. Rules. How do they work?
They don't.
Called
Easy.
shot.
Fucking
Right.
Magnets.
So basically a called shot. So what you want to do, you're not really trying to do more damage. You're just trying to like basically put them in the direction of one of these like knights.
Yeah, I'm
fighting, right?
I'm gonna essentially get his attention, piss him off, and try and get him to chase me.
So I'm gonna give him +1 defense for the called shot, and then the effect will not be extra damage. It'll be that they'll run headlong at you and potentially get hit by a knight as they run at you.
Yeah, and hopefully try to like fuck with his vision a little bit so he won't be as privy to dodge the oncoming foot.
Yeah.
Wait, throw sand in his face.
So
it's a multifaceted strategy.
Their defense is 5, so they're up to defense 6 for the called shot. So you move into 12-meter range, and you fire your pistol towards this man's face. So go ahead and give me an attack roll, difficulty 6, with your injury, so difficulty 7.
Okay. Oh boy.
Make it 6.
please.
And you will go 7.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Okay, just casually like fucking 4 6s, including a craft crit. Okay, good job.
Roll the damage and the crit I get.
That was a shuriken pistol, so like doesn't he get like extra effects on like getting like massive criticals or something?
The actual fuck is that? Okay, let me look
Damage 10. And roll critical. Headshot. A well-aimed shot tears ragged chunks of bone and brain from the opponent's skull. The foe reels from such a violent effect, unable to focus. Effect, target suffers 1 wounds and is staggered. +1
Another-
glory for 1 wound every wound you spend.
1d3 wounds, so click the dice.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
roll
click
the
the
dice
die.
symbol on there.
Uh,
Or you right click and tell it to roll. I forgot which one works.
You
No,
click
you
the
just
dice.
click
Yeah,
on the
you
dice
just so you
on-
see the little die symbol. Target suffers +1 die symbol 1.
yeah, but
rolls
it's
with that
not.
die symbol.
It's not going. It's not working.
Roll 1d3 yourself then, because the one.
it rolled it already.
1d3
It rolled it
on its
already.
own, and it rolled a
Yeah, and
Yes,
it just
okay.
came.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
You
okay.
just click on it to get the details. It rolls
Yeah.
up +1 wound.
I'm looking up shuriken
Yeah.
weapons real quick.
and he's staggered.
How many hit points does this guy have?
Not a
We don't
huge
know.
number. So he might be dead. We'll see.
Yeah, okay, because my total is it's 12 successes. I rolled for damage. Each one did like 1 damage, so I did a total of like 10 damage.
Well, you get to shift a whole bunch of 6s for ED as well because you rolled so many 6s.
Yeah.
Weren't we able before to check what stats doing the FX thing?
Okay, so Eldar weapons have rending 3, basically. So rending does what? Yeah, when you shift an exalted icon as part of an attack, the weapon's AP improves by the. So this is gonna rend through all of his armor. He wasn't wearing any armor anyway, but if you were to attack the main guy with that attack, you probably would have like shattered his.
Fuck.
I wish to use 8 now.
So it looks like Looks like 10 damage so far, and then you're also able to shift. Let's see, because you got what 12 successes, so you could shift 2 dice to damage. So roll 2 more ED damage.
Yeah, 2 d6s.
Yeah.
Okay, public roll. It's r/2d6.
Yes.
Oh no.
With a
Yeah,
slash
space.
R
Slash.
space 2d6.
Whoops. And 6.
Amazing.
A respectable extra 6
You got
damage.
you got an extra damage.
Nice.
So it's going to be at least 11, and then also you could spend some glory to do extra damage.
And he
for
also
every glory you
suffers.
spend as well.
He also suffers another wound from the critical effects. So you can also spend 2 more glory for 2 more extra wounds for 13 total. Or no,
So he's
Well,
13 total.
I want to know how much he has in
7.
total.
So he has 7 resilience against this attack, so he's going to reduce your damage by 7. So right now it is at 11.
Just
So he's
pour
going to
the-
take
just pour
4
the fucking-
damage.
Just pour
and
that
they
in.
have 10 wounds. So it's up to you if you want to do if you want to pop extra damage onto him or not.
Don't forget the critical would have put it up to 12, so we'd be taking 5 damage.
Right. Yeah. So he's at half life right now.
But
Yeah,
if you spend both glory, he's at 7 damage.
I don't think that would make
10.
much of a difference.
We have 3 glory though.
He's going to spend one of my ruin to try and turn that damage to shock. So he reduces the 5 damage he takes by all of it, and takes 5 shock.
Damn it. What does 5 shock do for him?
He just doesn't take that damage.
He's
I'm
one
pretty
shock. He's 1 shock away from passing out, but
Shock doesn't make you pass out.
It just means that every wound is a mortal wound after you are max shock.
Oh, okay.
Any shock is a mortal wound after that. But he is staggered. So
So he staggers back. He looks in your direction, angry, because that was the initial part of this called shot, was that he's angry at you.
Yeah.
And he begins to run directly in your direction, not caring about the stomping feet in his general direction. So if he gets stomped on, he's going to get stomped on.
I shoot him a cheeky little grin and begin to take off under the in between the feet of the fighting knights, bobbing and weaving. So he doing my best to make an annoying pattern that would piss him off because, you know, he likes things direct and straightforward. And I start trying to... what state are the knights in right now? Like, is one of them still fallen over or anything?
He tumbled, but he got back up onto his feet, and the 2 of them are now brawling, chain swords ripping into each other, sparks flying in every direction.
Okay,
The sound of 2 chain swords hitting each other is horrendous.
Okay.
by the way, that was your turn moving into range and firing.
What's your speed, Chrono?
Oh, wait. Oh, can I not do that then, if that was my turn?
Everyone's speed is 6, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if it's faster or not, but okay.
Where do I
you
find
move.
that?
So basically, you move forward 2 meters to get into medium range to do this, and then you're going to move like 4 back, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess then.
Cool. Right on. Okay. So the group of 3 of them continue running in your direction. They're now 10 meters away from the group of you.
And the other one is specifically following Safar by now.
And he doesn't care about the knights fighting each other.
Yeah.
Sator, I need you to make me an athletics check, difficulty 3.
Yep.
Farming that glory.
And I can actually shift one? Yeah.
Yeah, you can shift an extra gore if you want.
Sure. Sator does a backflip, dodging away from the,
No,
from the fight.
you sort of like saw it coming and like you moved out of the way before the foot even landed.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it is Gizmek's turn.
All right. I am not good at ranged combat in any capacity whatsoever. So my best bet is to charge some motherfuckers if I want to do anything of any value for
I
us
could
at
also
all.
recommend an interaction attack.
Yeah, I could also try and use the melt-a-gun I have.
Also have a melt-a-gun.
I do have a melt-a-gun. Range, they're within 10 meters. They're within medium range already for me.
Yes.
Okay, regular, what is the DN for this?
They have no cover, so it's just going to be their defense, which is 5.
You can aim if you stand still.
Yeah, you can aim if you stand still. That'll give you +1 die.
Alright, so DN is going to be a total of 6 because I'm wounded, right?
Yes, because you are wounded.
Alright. It's a +1 to what I... Am I putting the bonus in DN or in dice pool? I'm losing my mind.
You put the bonus into dice pool. The DN automatically counts how many penalties you have if you're wounded.
Yeah,
The normal DN will be 5.
Okay,
And should
normal DN is
automatically
5.
buff
It
it to
goes up to 6
6
because I'm wounded.
Yeah.
Aim, so yes, tick that mark because there's just a checkbox for aim. Range is medium.
Yes, so you don't have any negatives on that.
Nope, I'm not gonna get that.
Do you want to wrath point it? You're only 3 away.
Sure. Reroll for Wrath. Oh wait, it says that right. It didn't reset Wrath properly.
And then you also have 5 glory points to add extra dice to your attack as well.
Do you guys want me to use any of those?
I say go for it.
I mean, you do it
got a lot
after you reroll. So
you do it after you reroll. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna reroll if it doesn't work.
Who are you shooting at? You shooting at the main guy or one of the side guys?
I am shooting at the big boy because it's a melt-a-gun and he has a lot of armor.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm Gizmek, so I would go for the biggest guy first because that's quirky.
Okay, so you
don't even need the glory to hit.
Yeah. You could, if you wanted to, add extra ED for extra damage.
I would like to take 2 of our glory for that.
Why not? We have 4 at this point.
You have 5 actually at this point.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. We need it
I'm
right
just
now. We
going to take 2
might
to
die.
leave us in case of something more important, but...
What are you using the glory for? To do damage?
There are a few things
or...
more important than the current imminent risk of death, but okay.
Trying to do more damage to Mr. Armored Motherfucker, so yeah.
Yeah, so so roll some extra attack dice, basically.
6 and 4, so...
Okay, great.
Nice.
So the 4...
you do...
Also set the glory to 3.
Yeah, you have to readjust our glory for us.
Yeah, so glory goes to 3. You can shift 1 6, so you can get 1 extra ED. So go ahead and roll 1 dice for the ED.
Okay, so another 1d6. And that's a 2. That one does nothing. Okay.
Okay, so that didn't really help. And then the ED for the melt-a-gun didn't do anything, so it is damage 16 AP 4. Melta trait, which I don't remember exactly what that means. Let's see.
I think that he did a 6 and a 4, so that's 18, 19 damage.
This isn't showing me Melta trait properly on this, so I need.
No, those 2d6 were to get extra hit rolls, Joe, to try and
okay.
And stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know. My bad.
Oh yes, Melta. Oh, okay. So Melta is basically brutal. But only when fired at short range, not at medium range. Okay. So those two 3s would have done extra damage if you had stepped into short range. Okay.
Considering I have shit all, I did aim. Never mind. All right.
Yeah.
So, these guys. So you're ignoring 4 of his armor, so he's down to 1 armor. So, that puts him at 8 resilience. So he's going to reduce your damage by 8. So he's going to take 8 damage, and then he's going to spend a ruin to try and roll determination. Oh, right. He's a a champion. So he's a personal ruin that he will spend instead of my own ruin. So he moves 4 of it to shock. Sorry, 3 of it to shock. So he's going to take 5 damage. So he's at half health. So yeah. So you open up with your Melta across the field, and you ignite into this man's armor. He dodges the majority of the beam of hot plasma, but you still carve a significant portion of this man's flesh apart. He's got like basically a hole punched in his armor, and it's just like bleeding through. But thanks to like the warp PCP this guy is taking, he doesn't seem to be stopped by the pain.
Come here, you kid!
He is bleeding profusely from this wound, though. But
I can't tell
the
because it's
blood,
raining blood.
like, coagulates like immediately because these guys are space marines. So it basically like a big like chunk of like dried blood is like hanging off of this hole effectively in his torso. Cool. What next? Knife.
Isn't it the end of the turn and it's on us again because... Or, oh yeah, night too.
Well, guess which one was the one that Safar had distracted? It was number 7.
Oh.
So he's like running across the field directly at you, with a bleeding, basically like one of his eyeballs like hanging out of its socket, with a. It looks like Butters from South Park with like a shuriken sticking out of his eye.
I imagine he sounds like him too.
As he's running towards you, a dark shadow goes over him, but he doesn't seem to notice. As one of the knights reels back from a pretty heavy hit, one delivered to the other, and just crushes him underfoot, and he dies instantly.
I want it to be ironically the Chaos Knight and not the Imperial Knight that crushes him in the end.
Let's see which one it was.
Ask not for who the knight stomps, it stomps for thee.
It was actually your good friend, Sir.
Damn.
Sir Bravant.
Sir Bravant, that crushed this guy chasing you.
Win. Like, I didn't even run. I saw the shadow coming, so I'm just standing there with a little shit-eating grin as he rushes towards me. Just wait for it to fall.
And in your mind, you think to yourself, "Wait, does this count as a kill for Sir Bravant?" You know.
I'm thinking. I'm like, you know what? I'll let him have this one. I kind of owe him, so I'll let him have this one.
The group of them run an additional 5. The 2 of them run an additional 5 meters in your guys' direction. So now they're like 5 meters away and back to the top of the order.
Yeah. I want to mention that I completely forgot that I also get wrath from crits now. So I actually did get a wrath.
Oh yeah, because somebody crit. Yeah.
Yeah. And did the other thing Gizmek shot the other dude who's, half naked, or the...
No, I shot the
He
armor,
shot the
motherfucker.
Yeah, he shot the
Which,
champion.
on
So he
that
put a hole
note,
directly through his plate armor.
I would like to take this opportunity to shoot again because he has run into close range for my Melta.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
Fair.
Give me this one, Sator.
Oh, I get an extra ruin every turn while this guy's on the field.
So, I don't even have to move. He has moved himself into short range. So I'm going to stand in short range and aim at him. It is still the usual. What is the DN for him again? 3 armor, 3 defense?
Defense 5.
Defense 5. All right, yeah. It reset it on my end, so I need to redo that. I'm going to crank a couple glory in there.
Do it after you roll.
You do glory after you roll now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair. Right.
And then you
It's
aim
automatically
to do
giving
stuff.
me 2 bonus, so that must be from the short range.
Short range,
So-
yeah.
Okay, cool. So, bloop. I am going to wrath that to reroll. Ooh, shit. All right, now I do
And
need to
then
use at least a couple.
I used
I
2
missed by
glory.
1. All right,
You
yeah,
used 2 of the glory. Yeah.
I'll use 2 glory and fucking wow.
Oh, you missed.
Big oof.
Motherfucking not good at guns. Okay.
Yeah, so like you like put your Melta in his direction and you fire, but the last time you fired, like it rattled your armor so much that it started to like shake your like wounds apart. And so this time the pain just like overcomes and you just like list to the side and you just like arc your Melta across the landscape, chopping through a bunch of rocks and peppering the foot of the Chaos Knight fighting against Sir Bravin. But
I'm just hoping that has like some
the
effect
Marine
and causes the motherfucker
is
to
up.
slip.
What's up?
Never mind.
Oh yeah, so he slips, and then let's see who he slips into.
It would be so fucking ironic if he slips into this dude.
He slips into Chrono.
Oh no.
Oh no. At least you have
Make
agility.
me an athletics check, difficulty 3.
It corrects to difficulty 4. So should I go?
Yeah, because
difficulty?
you're injured.
Because you're wounded.
I say dice pool 4.
Spend that
Reroll.
reroll AD.
Rerolling.
Reroll and use the last glory if you need to.
There's
All
3
right,
successes.
use the last glory.
No, you got. Oh yeah, he needs 1 more. So go ahead and roll the
Roll
last.
1d6. See if you can get the last success that you need to avoid any damage.
Wait, do I just roll 1d6?
Yeah.
Yeah, just roll
Yeah.
1d6. You
We need a 4 or
more.
higher, baby.
Please.
Hey, that's 2 more
Hey.
successes. He's good.
Yeah, so you barely manage to slip away as the knight slips from his foot falling apart, basically, and almost crashing into you.
Dude, since the ground is bloody, I just have to I do sort of like a dash slide across the ground.
Yeah, the only reason it was so close is you weren't expecting that knight to slip at that moment, but because Gizmo.
Sorry about that noise here.
It made you be in the wrong position.
Yeah. I look at Gizmek and I say, I'm like, was that? I'm like, that was an accident, right? It was an accident.
Yeah, I was aiming for that kid, he says, pointing at the bleeding guy chasing towards him.
Okay, so the champion is going to charge now, spending a ruin to do so. And he's going to charge up the hill to Sator.
Yeah.
He runs directly into in front of you. Your third eye is still like open from your lidless stare earlier, and he tries to bring his chain axe down upon you. What's your defense?
I'm not sure if fucking how lidless stare and sustained works. If I'm supposed to roll against him again, but yeah.
Usually it would be on your turn, yeah.
But defense is 2.
Defense is 2. Okay.
Roll just straight ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
it's happened. So his weapon skill is 8, and he gets 2 bonus die for charging with the ruin I spent. Yeah, so 10 die.
That doesn't look like all ones to me, Chief.
Actually, it's a
1,
pretty
2,
low roll. He can
3,
only,
4, 5, 6, 7.
he also suffers a complication as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
He can only shift 2 6s. So let's figure out what the complication is first.
please let it be that one, the unfortunate target. He just hits his ally.
$26. That doesn't make sense. I'll roll.
It's losing ammo, amazing, probably. Because there's like a fucking 35.
35. Yeah, so he's gonna drop his chain axe. He hits you so hard. Okay. So he shifts 2 6s to damage. So it's gonna be 6 ED.
It's a chain axe.
With brutal. So that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 extra damage. So 21 damage.
Joy.
I think you have to spend a wrath point to like just not go down immediately.
How much does determine? Can you also you? I mean, we have no glory, so that doesn't matter.
Well, okay, so I've also been sort of screwing up with how damage works in this game a little bit. When you get smashed down to nothing, you go down to like sort of like dying state. You don't just
Yeah, but at the same time, we shouldn't do dying state for enemies because it will make everything a slog.
Well, no. So like enemies die, they die. Heroes have a different like set of rules for dying, basically.
I thought you could spend like one of your wrath points to like not go down immediately, or is that glory that you don't go down? Like if you're,
let me
It wouldn't make sense to be glory. It's so fucking dumb if it's glory. I'm gonna lose it. And I'm also trying to find a page for what you can do with wrath.
Yeah, so if you suffer more wounds than your maximum wounds, you are dying. When you're dying, you immediately suffer a memorable injury and fall prone. And then if you take any amount of damage while you're dying, that's when you take traumatic injuries. And then if you take a certain number of traumatic injuries, then you die. You still roll determination when you take damage while dying, and you can reduce the damage to 0, and then you don't go through your dying state or whatever. Yeah. So that's basically the way that that works.
so how much resilience do you have? Like what is your armor and your all of that?
I have 8 resilience.
So
and
he
my
does,
armor is like,
yeah, so 8, and then what's the AP on the chain axe?
No AP.
No AP, so it's 21 damage minus 8. That puts it at 13.
And then you can roll determination to reduce that further.
I don't have glory again. I'll just reroll determination, probably, maybe.
Right. So you reduce 1, 2, 3. So you take 10 damage, but I think that's more than your.
I have 8 wound. Okay, so how much damage does he deal again?
Right now, you've reduced it to 10.
Yeah.
Without the resilience, I mean.
21 total.
Yeah, 21 total.
21. Minus 8, that's 13. And I need to get rid of like another 2 wounds to not go down or whatever.
Yeah, if you reduce it to like, if you get like 4 more determination down, you'll have 1 hit point.
By the way, funny thing.
No.
What you just said to Marius, I thought you said that's 10 damage, but it's 1 in Europe. That's what I thought you said.
Yo, bro, conversion rates are insane.
Damage in the metric system.
Damage in the metric system.
I heard Europe.
Okay, so you did a reroll, so you reduced it by 3 instead. So you took 9 damage.
It's reduced by 6, or by 4, I mean, because there's a 6 there.
Oh, right. Yeah, it reduces by 4 total. So let's see. It was 21 minus 7 minus 4. So yes, it's still like 9 damage.
Yeah, you're still down, unfortunately.
What do I roll now?
Roll a d6 for me. there's so he basically, instead of hitting you with like the roaring chain axe part, he just punches you in the face with the guard. And it like breaks your nose and gives you like a sort of a skin burn effectively on your face.
Yes, the nose which I already didn't have.
Yeah, so he breaks the nose that doesn't exist and puts a skin burn on your face and smashes you to the ground. And so you're in the dying state. So that's fine. Being in the dying state is not as bad as it sounds. There's an optional rule here called Last Stand, where when you're dying, you can spend all your wrath, at least one, to act anyway, but you take D3 traumatic injury, so you probably don't want to do that.
Look, man, we have a fucking homunculus. I don't think that those traumatic injuries are going to last that long.
Not necessarily worth the risk.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's called a memorable injury. So you'll have that for a while. Right. Okay, great. So then it's one of your guys' turn.
I have a plasma pistol. I can take out this guy. So, and he's now in short range.
Yeah, he ran past you technically. He's like 3 meters away.
So yeah, he's in short range. I look at him and I see him take out my navigator and I'm like, hey, I still need him. And
he gave him a third black eye.
Black eye.
Nice.
I pull out my my plasma pistol. You hear the thrum of it supercharged. And yeah, that's what's his difficulty? 5?
5, yeah.
All right. And then short range with aim. Yeah. So I have a decent shot of hitting this actually. AP -3. Yeah. Aim. He's all right, and I do hit just barely, and I deal 15 with 3 P with 4 ED.
You do the roll damage button to see what. Tell me.
Yes. So I deal 17 damage with 3 AP.
Jesus Christ, it's a lot of damage.
I can just supercharge every turn.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of damage. Literally just instant down someone a second ago.
Jesus Christ, it's Holt's born.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy had 5 wounds remaining, and he took 3 shock before. So let's roll determination for him. Okay, so he gets rid of
5,
but he can only get rid of 3 because he only has 3 shock remaining.
Okay.
So he reduces it to 14, and then he's got 12 resilience, so it's going to be 9 reducing that as well. So reducing it by 12. So he's going to take 5 damage exactly, which kills him. Exactly perfectly. So he spins around. He cackles maniacally as he smashes your navigator to the ground. And you blow his head off. The plasma bolt goes straight through his enormous, stupid helmet, and he vaporizes in a cloud of smoke. As you're standing there, happy in your victory, you feel a shadow pass over you.
I'm spending a. Nope. Just kill me. Just absolutely destroy me. just stomp my ass.
Just fuck my shit up.
Would
Okay.
you allow me to spend a wrath to try and grab him out of the fucking way?
Yes, you can absolutely do that. I don't think you have any wrath available because I think you did 2 rerolls.
Damn. Well, I would do that if I had the wrath. Sorry, pal, you're dead.
I'm thinking
Well, just
about
like
what to
fucking dot
do.
Bisect him in half.
You're just gonna take some damage. You know, it's just gonna happen.
A memorable wound, a dent in his forehead.
What?
You got 8 damage that goes through armor coming at you, or it goes through resilience too.
Oh
I
God.
Personally
I'm
thinking
still
that
gonna
he-
try and roll determination.
Yeah,
Determination.
you can roll determination. Yeah.
Determination against what? The skyscraper falling on you?
Basically,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't get to have fun.
Roll me a d6.
What does that mean?
I'm looking that up. Okay, so luckily Holtz was standing in between 2 rocks, so the foot that comes down on top of him doesn't come all the way down on top of him, but it does basically hit him with the force of a truck, and so he is slammed into the dirt in the dying state, with a broken jaw. His jaw is cracked, halfway off his skull.
You got your jaw broken again.
Can't gallows humor your way out of that.
Make a toughness test for me. Difficulty 3.
Can I just say that, half conscious after getting down by that fucking.
No, I don't get to have fun.
After getting down by that guy, Sator just.
Do you have any more
half-consciously
wrath?
You are knocked entirely unconscious by this blow that came out of nowhere. You're just laying on the ground. Your jaw half off of your skeleton.
Hey, look, we're finally gonna have to get Holt's new art.
As you look up in the distance, your last foe has vanished somehow.
Oh God.
And the 2 knights are still battling each other over this battlefield.
Trisky, how many
Hello,
I am
do you have
going
left?
to go and pick up Holtz.
Excuse me, may I speak? Also, you already.
Oh, right.
Fucking
Sator,
hell.
I need you to also make a toughness test, difficulty 3.
Great, which is 4 because
Yeah.
injured.
Yeah.
I'll just set it to 3, and I think it's already whatever. I'll just roll.
Yeah, set it to 3, it'll automatically adjust to 4, and then you fail it, try and roll wrath, maybe?
Wait a minute.
Okay,
I just
you're
realized-
I
good.
did it.
Did I just miss my other attack roll?
Yeah, so far hasn't had a turn yet. But
Yeah, you haven't had a
I
turn.
had one turn. I had one turn.
Yeah. You had the turn, but the combat's over.
Oh. I was gonna say,
Can
let
I
me take a
please-
shot first to drive him off, see if that works.
Can I please speak?
Posterity. Okay,
You
fine.
are not unconscious.
It is
You-
Soot's turn to speak.
Everyone, shut the fuck up. I'm not risky one who just screams to get everyone to shut up. Thank you. Okay. Anyways,
sorry.
as Sator is fucking half unconscious, and then the fucking Chaos Champion guy gets shot and also falls dead to the floor. He then looks over at Holt, who proceeds to get fucking slammed down by the Titan and looks half dead pretty much. It's like, I'm sure that the homunculus will have a day of this.
Oh.
You are incapable of moving yourself right now, Sator, as you are still in the dying state. You don't go to 1 hit point like in other systems.
Yeah. May I attempt to teleport though?
No.
Your teleportation is like adjusting timelines, but you have to be able to travel there in the first place.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well,
technically you could if you spent all of your wrath and took D3 traumatic injuries. You could teleport.
Dude, I can pick
Amazing.
you up. I'm still up.
I know. I'll just
pick up
wait to
Holtz.
I'll just
No.
wait to be healed, I guess, or picked up.
Yeah. So after this fight ends, the bunch of you are still like reeling from what just happened. Gizmek walks over, throws Holtz over his shoulder. Um, uh, no problem. You don't have to roll for that.
Yeah.
And Victor Brom appears, covered in blood. He's been killing nonstop since he left. He grabs Sator, throws him over his shoulder, which has got a giant shoulder pad, and points to the drop pod and says, "We're taking that out of here."
My first reaction upon seeing Victor Brom covered in blood is to aim my long rifle at him in just like a flinch of panic because he's covered in blood. So
He looks like
he's
one of the
another
fucking world bearers for a second. Yeah.
And when you pull it up your rifle, he like points his gun at you, and the two of you have like a momentary standoff.
Oi! Cut it out! Let's go!
I wasn't the one that panicked, sir.
You look like one of the world eaters. He panicked. Let's go.
I just sort of pointed him. I just sort of pointed him up and down and say, "You've got a little something on you."
Yeah, he's just like dripping.
You've got something there.
Sator, while not unconscious, you are conscious, but you are like unable to move. Like you're now like covered in blood from his armor as he's carrying you. He leads you down the path to this World Eater's drop pod and tells you all to get in.
I want to say that with that and the fucking bullshit that happened, that with getting Berserker mostly because of smoking dried blood in the fucking ship demon summoning thing before, Sator probably just has like, he really wants to kill something, but he just can't.
Oh boy. So
while
we're getting in this
going
drop
on,
pod. I was going to say we're getting in this drop pod. I want to tell you what
these different drop pods look like, just so you can tell. The little ones that are flying around shooting right now look like that, and then the big one.
Jesus.
Add guns to drop pods. Why? Because fuck you.
For our YouTube viewers, these are the smaller ones that are flying around and shooting at us. Are they yellow or are they red?
They are. Some are red, and some are blue and white.
All right. So not this color, but this design.
Yeah, that's the design. And then the big one, let me see if I can find a good picture of it.
And while we wait, chat, this is a coconut. I had this image in my downloads folder. It is totally relevant. Cool.
Is it the TF2 coconut?
No, I used it for an image of coconut gun.
Oh. No, I was referring to how the game TF2, there's one PNG of a coconut in the game files with a developer's note attached stating they don't know how it got there and they don't know what it does. But if you remove the coconut PNG, the entire game stops functioning.
Yeah.
So you can't touch the TF2 coconut.
No, it's the coconut that's fucking messed up in that picture.
Another thing to mention that Sator, while also thinking about just murder, is also slightly saying out loud, but probably not being heard over everything. If another knight falls on that pod, I will. No, I can't say this out loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. The one that dropped in front of you with the missile launchers is the one that dropped in front of you. This other one I just posted without the missile launchers are the ones flying around shooting all over the battlefield. So yeah, so there's this big claw with like double claws thing with like loading ramps, like coming down into the rock. It's a dark scarlet color, covered in chaos iconography. It's like the oldest vehicle any of you have ever seen.
I mean, I came from a craft world, so I'm not sure about that.
Well, this is over 10,000 years old.
Oh, okay.
Fair.
This is 31st millennium tech.
Heresy era.
Okay.
And yeah, so you guys load up into the Charybdis, and Invictor Brahm manages to shuffle his way into the pilot seat. He has to dispose of like a body that has infused itself into the chair,
Just
and throw it out the window. And then he hits the button, and the whole thing lights up. The thrusters activate, and the ship begins to lift off and blast into the atmosphere towards the Blackstone. The Blackstone itself is currently in a fight with a couple of other Chaos vessels, but it's holding its own with Wanderer sort of running the show while the leader's out. The Charybdis makes it through all of the space battle going on across all the wreckage. Has to fly like through a Chaos battleship with a hole blown in it, and you all make it to the hangar bay of the Blackstone.
on the way there,
wait for the ship to fully land.
On the way there in the drop pod, I'm just sort of casually licking the blood off myself. The rain blood and my own blood and other people's.
What are you?
The
a fucking
ride is
cat?
not a pleasant one, by the way. It is extremely rocky. And there's no inertial compensators in this vessel whatsoever. Every single time Brahm needs to make like a high-pitched maneuver, everyone's like slammed into their seats.
Oh, okay.
So you're all a little bit like woozy when you manage to pull out of this vehicle.
Holt is luckily
I'm
unconscious.
still unconscious, so I don't experience any of
I'm
this.
looking up how much time you're unconscious for, and then we'll see if you're conscious now or not.
Yeah. I do want to Sator might ask Gizmek to if he could use his mechadendrite to
Are you even physically capable of speaking?
Yes.
He's able to mutter, he's able to barely speak. Every time he tries to speak, though, he spits up a little bit of extra blood. It's pretty rough.
It's okay, little guy. We'll take care of you.
You're going to be unconscious for 24 hours unless you receive medical attention.
Hey.
I would
I'm gonna
assume
stop.
that Gizmek would try and patch him up in the ship because I do have a Medicaid mechadendrite.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a
Sator was
Medicaid
alluding
check.
to. Give you a Medicaid check. Give me just a second to pull that up proper. Deanne, what?
Attempting Medicaid on another species increases the DN by 1. So it's DN 3 on its own.
And then I'm still wounded, so.
And then you're wounded, so it's be 5 total.
Wait.
Passed.
Well,
6.
I didn't even have to set to the right DN, but it's fine.
Great. Okay. So Holtz heals 1 hit point.
Wakey, wakey, lovely maiden.
So you're at 1 hit point. You're still at death's door. You're still in the dying condition because you have to, go to a med tech or whatever. But you are conscious after an hour. So it took an hour basically for the dropship to get back to the ship. So that totally makes sense.
As soon as I feel my jaw unhinged, cracked, Holtz with his gallows humor is like, well, if there's one blessing, it's that the Emperor has decided that I should not open my big fat stupid mouth. If anyone has, can I, since I'm injured in this point, can I try Gallows Humor actually and see if anyone else, does anyone else have shock like at all?
I have like 4, but
No.
we'll get. But I do have 4, but yeah.
Okay, I can just roll like a fellowship.
I
test to see if
wouldn't worry about it. I don't think you guys are gonna have any more combats for the time being.
I mean, ship combat.
Well, what's going to happen is the while you guys were flying up, Sir Brav had finished off his opponent. The knights got into their drop fortress. The drop fortress began its way of getting back up to the Blackstone. So you guys only have to be like around for like another like couple hours, and then you guys will have all your forces returned, and then you're just going to jump to warp drive.
Gotcha. Okay.
The only thing you have to worry about is the fact that your navigator is currently on death's door. And so the navigation test is going to be very difficult.
Shall I attempt to patch up suit as well?
Right. So you have a chance to do a regroup rest. And so you can do another Medicaid test on Sator. Give yourself an extra 2 dice because you'll have facilities to help you.
All right. So total DN is supposed to be 5.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be 5. Yeah.
Oh, damn. I don't even have Wrath, so I don't manage to do it as well as I'd like.
Yeah, so you managed to like get the most of his wounds like at least covered. He doesn't heal any hit points, but he's no longer in the dying state, and
Yeah,
so
he's like stabilized.
but he's still going to be wounded, so he's still going to be +1 difficulty number to do the navigation.
Great.
So you rush him up to the navigator's spire, and plug him in, and now we need to do a navigation roll. It is going to be very difficult as the warp is roiling like mad around you. So it'll be a difficulty 7, and so while you're injured, it'll be difficulty 8, which is fitting.
I need to roll
core
pilot with willpower instead of agility.
Yeah.
So hold on. I'll roll a pilot and I'll just use what I have in pilot as a bonus to willpower. So what difficulty?
8 total, so 7.
Yeah. 7. Yeah.
Yeah. There.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
Okay,
through
just
the
casually
pain,
roll 8.
through the pain, you manage to find a path through the roiling warp storms to Karsoka. And you not only that, but you find a path that would be easy enough for the world eaters to also follow you. And so you've got the world eaters chasing your ship and are directly on your tail.
Joy.
All right. So let's take 5.
All right, yeah.
Fair.
And we'll do a little more, and then we'll lead off into the next session after that.
All right. See y'all in a short bit.
will open this airport and kill both of us.
I'm gonna
We
arrow.
are now back.
All right. So, you've all managed to pop into the warp with a roiling storm around you. The ship is not traveling well as it usually does through the warp, in that it's like a very bumpy journey. Randomly, the whole superstructure will jump and make like a groaning sound. Everybody's like stuff will fall off of tables. Everyone's like slightly on edge.
It's good enough for this situation.
We'll have a meeting of all of the lieutenants and Holtz in his meeting hall, with the shaking constantly occurring. Sator is taking a quick break from his normal nap to be at this meeting. And yeah. What do you guys want to talk about on your last trek to Karsoka?
It was really funny watching you get crushed.
I take comfort in the knowledge that the only thing that can take me down is a giant 30-foot tall machine god.
That is a pretty good way to take it. I can admire that.
Sir Bravent is looking a little like nervous.
I'm currently laying on my back and suturing my wound shut by myself.
That's been done. There's several days in the future.
Yeah, I imagine there's like Holt speaking very quietly, so everyone has to like lean in close to listen to him.
Holt still has like a giant bruise on his face.
I wonder why.
His jaw has been reattached, but there's still like a cast around like his head to hold his jaw shut.
Usually, in the
just
event of that sort of thing, they wire your jaw shut while it heals.
Yeah. Well,
I
this is
do
the
want
Imperium. Fuck that kind of noise. In the meanwhile,
honestly.
while he's sitting here with his jaw fucked up like that, Gizmek's just like in the chair nearby, almost like you imagine those scenes with like old women like crocheting, except in Gizmek's case, is Gizmek slowly putting together a metal jaw for Holtz.
I assume that we'll talk about what we were doing on our off time after this, but yeah, even though Sator will have very little.
But like moving on to like the crux of the matter is like, if once we arrive in Karsoka, we need to confirm that the World Eaters have followed us into the system. We'll take some time to observe the situation if we can, but if things are too hot, we may have to immediately warp jump back to Gilneas.
Don't worry, they'll follow us. I think they're mad at us.
And I can't imagine why. We didn't do
We
anything to
didn't
them.
do anything.
I mean, technically we didn't, but you know.
That is disappointing. I have a score to settle with them. After all, they did destroy 3 of my ships and steal from my flagship. I've only managed to destroy 2 of theirs. I haven't taken anything back yet. This perplexes me.
Well, we just tried to take one of their ships for our own.
I look at Holtz, I'm like, I look at him and say, and just like nod approvingly, I enjoy this side of you, Captain. Vengeance. Nice.
For the moment, we will have to be satisfied with luring them into this death trap of a system. Is there anything that anyone wishes to say on the matter? Anything that was discovered while we were in the previous system?
Nothing in particular, but have we any word in regards to the other factions at play on the matter? Necrons? My mother?
Unfortunately, we don't have any reasonable method of getting in contact or observing them, short of directly looking.
So we'll just have to trust them. Lovely.
I imagine.
Yeah, trust in the knife. Get as far as you can throw him. You can throw him 20 times further.
I opened my mouth to protest to that, but then I just shrugged because it's true.
I believe there might be something that I can't remember his name because it's been a month, but the other rogue trader. The one that
Jakal Veronis?
Yes. Veronis might have contacts. If there's any, Safar said that there were craft worlders in the system. If Veronis has any contact with them, they might be able to provide observers, at least in the webway. Safar, you might, if Safar is willing to share some of his own insights, we might be able to observe them that way as well.
I'll see what I can do. What craft world is near us, by the way?
We haven't met a craft world.
I see. No, like I mean, Veronis. I mean, how far away is he from us?
He's in the Gilnea system. So
He's at
like
Gilneas right now. You're sort of trailing world leaders right now. They're not as stupid as the orcs. Like they're staying within like warp sensor range. So if you try to like change course, they'll course correct with you.
I see. Because I'm saying if it's a craft world that I know or I'm familiar with, I might be able to get us to crash there and hide there if things really go south. Because a craft world is stupidly powerful. Like those things can solo entire battle fleets.
Yeah. They're. I think I remember them saying that there was like a craft world that was like heavily damaged, like way at the outskirts of the Gilnea system that Veronis was in contact with. But I don't remember the details of that right off the top of my head.
Wasn't there a
stuff we can hide there? Those things are
I just want to also mention, wasn't there a craft world in the lore which was taken down by just a single chapter of Space Marine?
That was Leandon. Craft World Leandon just has really, really fucking bad luck, and that's because they were getting beaten really badly, but then the invasion got called off because they realized it was a mistake, and then they got hit with Tyranids. It's because that craft world just has really bad luck, but other craft worlds, in terms of like void combat, have wiped out entire battle fleets.
Moving on, as fascinating as craft world atmosphere and whatnot is, what should our next objective be? I don't know of any other major factions in the area that we can lure to Karsoka, at least not easily. So I believe we should pivot to the new objective.
Anybody know any Tau?
I have not heard any word of Tau incursions in the area, but I doubt anyone that has heard of without Warp Chapel. The Tau are probably
Tau territories are very tiny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even trust them scared little wimpy gits to even get involved in this. Considering half of the factions that play are ones that'll actually get up in the grill, unlike them pansy sniper gits.
Real?
Perhaps we should focus our attention, our next objective, towards securing the navigators within the local cluster.
Oh yeah, we gotta make wedding preparations, don't we?
Yes, it would serve as a good objective for the new house from Marius and Veronis's navigator.
Sator.
Sator and Veronis's navigator, excuse me.
Who's Marius? That's a weird name.
He's his mind is being possessed by Zinchian demons who are manipulating his memories.
But yes, there's also the matter of potentially finding more objects similar to that of our current warp drive, but I don't have a lead on that.
I feel like that's of minimal concern at the moment.
Then what would you say is our next highest priority, Harlequin?
Stay the course, lead the World Eaters along, and hope for the best.
I'd say, if
We've set the ball in motion, but there's only so much we can do.
If I may interject an idea here, Hoots.
By all means.
Well, we lost 3 ships to these gits. We're leading them into a battle, and we still haven't gotten anything back from them, like you said. I think that our next objective should be to rebuild your fleet, sir. By that I mean I want a new ship for myself. But, hey, it sure helps you, now don't it? Because if we got more manpower and more fleet power, we can do more power stuff, you know?
I think I understood most of that. Unfortunately, we run into 2 problems. One is that this ship is the only one that can navigate the warp freely. And the other ships will be slaved to this one. Second, any ships that we can get our hands on will likely be conscripted into the battle effort on Gilneas. Especially
well,
if...
why don't we just join some ships from the Orcs and the Chaosy boys?
Using a Chaos ship is highly unrecommended, as they are oozing the corruption of the great enemy.
I could just slap it out of it.
I somehow don't doubt that.
And bringing orcs into Imperial space will not be treated well. As soon as orcs are brought into the system, they'll be shot on the site, with or without my pedigree attached to it. In fact, I may be executed for doing such a thing.
Implying you'd care for what they think of you.
Oh, I don't. But I'm just saying that's what would happen. But you do have a point. We should build up our forces while we can. The entire point of this operation was to buy time. What about the rest of you? Surely you have something to add to this matter? I should be referring to Invictor Broad, the Space Marine representative, and the Knight, who probably has opinions on the matter, or maybe they don't.
Yeah, so
I have done.
So Brom says,
Sir Robin.
yeah, Brom speaks up. He stands up from his massive seat that he has brought in, and paces back and forth as he speaks, and he says, well, it will be difficult to contact the rest of our Imperium forces, as any deviation from our plan will stop the world leaders from following us to their doom at Karsoka. On the other hand, do we know if we have gathered enough of these enemies to deal with such a threat?
I believe that if the world leaders have found suitable battle, their demonic call will incur further incursions into the system.
Do you believe we'll even be able to leave Karsoka once we arrive? The warp is at a tipping point, and it's only becoming more dense as we approach the cursed system.
We've been able to leave every system thus far. I see no reason to I see no reason to doubt Sator's abilities yet. But you do have a point. The warp is becoming more and more difficult to traverse. I believe this is the last time we will be able to set foot in Karsoka for quite some time. And if we do, if we do need help leaving, we'll have to we'll likely have to assist one of the factions, including potentially the one we've stabbed in the back as well, if we can, because they're the ones that are likely going to find us first, given that the leader can just appear anywhere.
Now, we don't know what state the system is in when we arrive, but I imagine with the Necron's awakening, Dark Eldar in the shadows, an Orc Wa on its way or already there, and finally these World Eaters behind us, there'll be quite some anarchy going on. Do we have an objective that we could perform as a spear tip to drive this battle over the edge in a favor that we wish?
Well, that depends.
Of course, I would wish for all of these enemies that have arrived to wipe themselves all out. One may stand triumphant at the end. We probably have the chance to choose which one that is.
I agree.
I've opened
So that brings
That takes the well. That should take both the orcs and the world eaters out of the equation.
What do you mean?
the question. With all, excuse me. The question is, which faction do we want to win? Each one of them presents a significant problem in their own ways. The Necrons are probably the most terrifying, but given the what's the word? Disposition of the other factions in the area, they're the least likely to pose problems to the Imperium going further. The Dark Eldar are the most likely to negotiate with the Imperium, but also the most likely to
Have us in the back.
Yes. The orcs are simple. We can pretty much guess what they're going to do, but which is fight. But that their predictability benefits the Imperium in other ways. And then finally, the World Eaters. I don't think anyone here is in favor of the World Eaters succeeding in this battle.
If Chaos succeeds, they will be able to draw power from their dark gods and overrun this system in misery, or this sector in misery. If Milik survives and thrives, then this whole system, this whole sector is driven to madness and darkness. Those are the two factions that I would least like to win this fight.
So the Dark Eldar and the Chaos Space Marines.
Similarly, if the Orcs win such a battle as the size that they've won here, they will gain immense power, calling upon all of the Orcs within the whole side of the Imperium, potentially. And it will be driven into warlike murder and carnage.
Was he talking about the Dark Eldar or the guy who was just leading this, who was basically starting this entire shit show in the first place?
Yeah.
Admiral Milik is the Xeno heretic.
Yeah.
So the heretics are the ones we don't want to win because they're heretics.
But they're siphoning off power from a fucking Catan.
Similarly, we don't know the end game of the Necrons or the Dark Eldar, as they are an unknowable enemy.
Is it if I type up here?
Yeah.
Safar looks reluctant, but eventually does raise his hand. to speak.
So far.
It is with great trepidation and no small amount of loath that I do admit the Dark Eldar may be our safest bet, because the Necron are an ancient and unknowable enemy. Oftentimes they will have something in the shadows that we cannot see, a superweapon, an ancient structure, some agenda, and the ability to wipe out planets and stars at a whim. The Drukhari, however, will very likely take what they can carry and then, as you say in your tongue, fuck off back where they came from.
Sator slightly smirks and will proceed to say, You're just still scared of the Necrons, aren't you?"
And of course, the Eldar would, and then Bravin says, "Of course, the Eldar would approve of the Eldar winning." And he,
Yeah,
like,
to be
smirks.
honest, he does got a point. Them Eldar don't really like to stick around.
Captain Bravin, I assure you, my position is purely pragmatic. There is no love lost between them and I assure you.
Fortunately, I will have to mostly agree with him. While I'm sure, while the Necrons could also be, while the Necrons coming out on top would also be one of the less worse options, the Drukhari only attack those who are only prey on the weak.
Moreover, we have...
Go on.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you say?
No, you go on.
Moreover, we are possessed of a fair few bargaining chips that they may well agree to if it comes to that. In order to, if not tip them on our side, at least get them out of the battle for a moment.
So it is ultimately your decision, Captain, which faction we push our finger down on. But we also need to determine how we will do so. How will we help the Dark Eldar to win this battle?
Out of
My
character,
concern. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Out of character mostly. How was the pact with the Necrons that we had again specifically? That we aren't allowed to hurt them and they aren't allowed to hurt anyone on the ship?
Yeah.
So we won't be able to go actively against them, but you know.
The problem,
I mean, we will if we
that I
want to get
see with-
shot.
The problem with the Drukhari, and while I agree with that, and while I've taken into consideration all of your points, the biggest problem is that the Drukhari have made it clear that they will take a watch and see approach from behind the fortresses of their webway. It will be difficult to drag them. It will be difficult to drag them out into the open, even to negotiate.
If there's one faction the Drukhari will not be able to tolerate winning, it would be the Necrons, because the Necron victory could very well spell the destruction of all life, moreover all exploitable life, within the system, nullifying any gains they could make. Should the Necrons seem to gain the upper hand, they may be forced to act, lest they seem to give in to weakness in the eyes of those around them.
So perhaps we should support the Necrons in order to draw them out of their hiding.
Well, in this case, do we wish for the Necrons to be the ultimate winners or for the Drukhari? Because in that case, we should specifically decide how much we help them.
I agree that the Drukhari are easier to negotiate with, and given the Imperium's current position, I believe an enemy that can be bargained with is better than an enemy that constantly batters at our walls. We're in a position where we need to rebuild. The Drukhari... Who died? Well, we're in a position where we need to rebuild. And any opportunity to do that unencumbered is honestly too good to pass up. I agree with the overall sentiment that the Drukhari are probably the best faction to support, but I will hear any last-minute objections or considerations that you wish taken into account.
Well,
So are we decided then?
yeah.
It seems that way.
Okay. Well, if we are decided to,
I do take this. I do take this moment to 1 second. As everyone stays silent when Holtz opens the floor to everyone, I do. What's it called? I take a moment to say, to mutter a small phrase in full Eldari. Bion anfir kalmar ina daustmaui an bion piok elra aiga. Imagine I just say that very quickly, as opposed to slowly and judderingly. Bion anfir kalmar in most iona na bion piok elra aiga. It is an old Eldari phrase meaning one shows good sense in silence when one has nothing to say.
the Brahm
Sounds like a load of crap.
clearly nods and thinks on that moment.
Risky, what the fuck did you do to your voice?
It echoed through somebody else's microphone.
Yeah, I could do sixes, but yeah.
Okay, I do have to go.
See ya.
Yeah, let's wrap up. I mean,
Yeah, we'll just do downtime, and then we'll do your downtime first thing next session, and then we'll have
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
okay. Later.
Later.
Peace.
Yeah. So Brahm says, so we are decided then.
I believe that this is the best course of action.
Then I will prepare a number of solutions that I believe might help us tip the scales in that sense.
Understood.
I'll be sure to be careful in providing plans that might trigger an end to our relationship with the Necron.
I will have Wanderer assist you in compiling these plans.
I have not personally seen what these enemies can do, but the stories and the simulations within my hypno training have been horrifying.
Believe you me, the stories don't do them justice.
Yeah, and then so everyone sort of packs up and heads out. Everyone's gonna come up with ideas for things to like sort of try to tip the scales in a faction's favor. So now we've got a little bit of downtime. We'll do a downtime activity for all of you, and then we will be done.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Sator.
I mean, first is like what I actually want to do, as in the detailed thing, and then it's like most of the time, say, I want to ask something to confirm, which is how do you think that homunculus usually do their actual Medicaid work? Because from how I understand it for now is that while they are,
The how, unfortunately, is unknowable, right? That they're specifically
not the how, the basic, as in do they literally inflict as much pain onto you as possible or not? Because from like reading the part of the Dark Eldar books, from what I understood is that it's like, yeah, it does hurt, but they mostly do it like quickly.
I assume it depends on the individual.
Fair.
Right? So, this guy, he's sort of like beholden to you, and so I feel like he wouldn't try to drag it out, but he's still addicted to pain himself. So
Yeah.
he probably, maybe a couple of times he like bumps a nerve on purpose.
Yeah. Sator will mostly take note of that for later. And the actual thing is that it's like, hey, maybe his power fist has normal breakage, like it's spinning endlessly, and one of the wires is cut. So he goes to visit Gizmek in his workshop, and when he gets there, he just sees that it's like way too clean than normal, and that the only thing which looks like normal for Gizmek is that there's a table which has been thrown over, if I remember that right.
Yep.
Potentially. It's been too long to remember exactly what happened last time. Also,
Yeah,
it's been months in game time, so like anything could be different.
Yeah. But it's like things are way too clean than normal for Gizmek, which is the important part, right?
Yeah, organized.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he's not clean so much as significantly more organized than he normally is. You like look at his tools and they're like laid out from like smallest to largest on his shelf. Now they might be like askew, or like the shelf might be at an angle or whatever, but they're like specifically ordered.
Yeah. With how much order is there compared to normals? This would like
they would have been
enough.
all tossed.
Yeah.
They would have been all tossed into a random pile and fucking ignored until they needed. So significant difference.
Yeah, there's like an order to his madness now. That wasn't there before.
It was pure
there's still
madness,
madness, but there's order to it.
Is there anything wacky happening in the warp compared to usual? With
no.
Gaze into the warp.
You gaze in and look at his workshop, and everything seems as it should be. Everything Gizmek has sort of always radiates like an aura of coordinate energy, in that he's an orc. But
more like something similar.
But nothing more than usual.
Yeah, it's like similar to corn energy, but it's green.
Has Gizmek
it's
like
Gorky energy?
Yeah, because Gizmek hasn't been like shy about the fact that he has all this Necron tech now, right?
No, he doesn't give a shit.
So like on his workbenches, there's all of these like very clean metal like mechanisms that he was testing on to build his armor, with like coils of energy wrapping around them. And this green energy sort of pervades the space, and like it glows a little.
Yeah. Sator would look for Gizmek, or if he's nearby, and if he isn't, just follow the screaming.
Yeah, I wanted to also, while you guys were discussing factions that should win earlier in that meeting, I needed Gizmek to make me a willpower test.
All right, I will do that for you now.
Difficult, and none of you are injured, so get rid of all your injuries, so you don't have to worry about extra difficulty. It'd be difficulty 4.
All right, difficulty 4.
And then we won't worry about the results of that roll until your downtime, but it'll help me remember. Okay, cool. Oh, and a complication too.
Yeah, don't forget about the complication that I rolled like fucking months ago.
Oh yeah, I've got that written down actually.
Great. So Sator would go to look for Gizmek and ask him, "Hey, what have you been cooking up in your workshop?"
So after the meeting, Gizmek, you were wandering you're like wandering the halls, doing little maintenances here and there, and like you had a thought. It felt like a normal thought. It felt like it wasn't implanted by anything. It just felt like part of your brain. And the thought was like, would it be so bad if like the Necrons won the battle? Like that wouldn't be so bad. You already have a deal with them. You made the deal. You did a good job making the deal. Everyone that says you didn't make a good job, do a good job, is fooling themselves.
He's dead.
And you appreciate being an orc and you want the orcs to win, but if the orcs win, they're just gonna wah around the entire sector, and then the whole setup you've got set up with Hults will be over. And I don't know if Gizmek has ever given thought to being a war boss in its own right with his own minions, but having your human minions has been an annoyance rather than a huge help. I don't know if Gizmek is much is a war bossy kind of person.
Wanted to build up his own sort of like warband, but things like all circumstances have sort of prevented it. On his old ship, he was slowly like there was a section of it that was slowly orc spores and whatnot.
Right.
He was working on it. And he does have Grismo, but that's about it. And every other attempt has been failed. The closest thing that has come of it was him doing that timey-wimey bullshit and accidentally making an entire out of it. But that he didn't really get to benefit much from that.
Gizmek thinks, and he wouldn't end up being the war boss at the center of this giant wah. It'd be whoever's running that faction at the moment. And so, while you're having these thoughts about would it be so bad if the Necrons won, Sator comes into sight, and he's been looking for you.
Hold on. I just want to mention that I'm pretty sure that Gizmek has been on the Blackstone for long enough for at least quicks to pop up.
You're also going to get D6 corruption, please.
Jesus Christ.
Let me roll that roll.
I mean, if that willpower test was supposed to be corruption, it would have been 4, but
you get 1 more corruption from the Necron tech. It's just a little thought.
I am up to 7.
But yeah, Sator would ask, what's he making in his workshop, or what's he working on?
You come into the workshop and Gizmek is sitting at a very neatly organized yet askew table, and he is working still on this metal jaw, human size, that he's making for Holtz under the assumption that Holtz will accept it, totally not at all considering the fact that he might outright reject it.
And normally when you would make orky tech like this, it would be a metal jaw that's made of rusty iron. It would be completely uneven. All the teeth would be a different size. And it would attach with a couple of bolts. But this jaw that you're making is
it's fully articulated
clean.
And everything is nice.
Yeah, it's it's made from that liquid silvery metal that the Necrons use. So you figured out a way to generate that.
Replicate it.
And it's actually powered rather than working purely through your orky tech. And it actually has real physical principles to it. So it's a real jaw. The teeth all are very neatly lined up, like regular teeth would.
I actually have a book of human anatomy next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sator would ask Gizmek what has been working on in his workshop in the general direction of where all of the other Necron stuff is.
The rest of the projects that are lingering around are, number 1, his eternal regicide board diorama project that he always works on, which for some reason has been organized a lot better as of late. And he also has the Mark II new Death Dread that he's been working on, who he is now making a Mega Dread, so it's even bigger.
Bigger.
And he hasn't worked on that much since all this weird Necron-y stuff has started, so it still looks very orky. But
he's
if
got
you look at the table
designs.
near,
He's got
yeah,
designs.
I was just going to say he's
up.
got some designs on the table near it that look like he wants to do improvements, and all the designs look like really logical.
Right. The old designs looked like a Death Dread, right? Whereas the new designs, they have like, maybe like very straight edges. They have they've got like, it's a much cleaner design. It's got some actual weapons on it rather than like buzzsaws. It looks like a weapon that could actually work
on the shoulder or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Say, interesting. Where did you get inspired to make them in this design?
It just came to me one night. I just work as I does.
Mm-hmm. And how well would Sator recognize this being like extremely similar to Necron stuff?
I mean, I don't think Sator is like intimately familiar with Necron design. Like you basically have only seen the Necron Lord in Holtz's Bridge. Like you haven't seen.
We were in like a Necron section of a Space Hulk, but other than that,
yeah. So you've seen like the Egyptian like design. None of his stuff looks like Egyptian. So like it's fine. It just looks, a little. But it does feel strange. Like Gizmek is like looking this way, but it kind of makes sense in the sense that like he has all this new technology now, right? So he's going to use this new technology to build things, and he's able to make it sleeker and nicer.
Hey, Gizmek.
Yeah.
How about before you work on that Mega Death Dread, that you first maybe attempt to make an improved version of my Power Fist for testing purposes?
Oh, I've already been working on that. He just points to another schematic in the corner and just like a pile of schematics.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look so much like a janky power fist. It looks like a claw with like power talons.
But more human sized, I would assume.
Yeah.
I took some inspiration from the weird claws that some of them spiky gets had, but I made it more, not spiky get like.
I'm assuming it's still like a right hand for his left arm.
It should
no,
be.
in this circumstance, it's just like it's a left hand for his right arm.
Amazing.
No, I think it's actually like the right hand. Like if anything, you've actually got like a book of like you've got that same book of human anatomy, so you know the thumb's on the correct side now.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to go that way. Oh, that's weird. Interesting. All right. Well, I guess I was real drunk.
To be fair, he was drunk when he put that on the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a random roll in a fucking drunken bender. So.
Sator sees that the arm is actually anatomically correct, and he slightly squints at that and just looks through some of the other blueprints you left in that pile.
Yeah, so he's got like a couple of weapons
man
that are like
there.
Instead of like swords, they're like power glaives, and instead of like fists, there's like talons with the energy like coursing down the edges. Any of his vehicles are either they either like are anti-grav or they use like large metal claws to walk rather than feet.
Yeah.
But he's got new technology. He's using it.
One thing you do notice starting to come into the theme for some reason, though, that is the one, like, not explicitly Necron nor Orky thing, is that a lot of his designs seem to look look more like crustaceans, crabs, and sea creatures of some variety. He's getting some sort of like inspirations from that in there. All of his
Nice.
walkers are more like crab legs and whatnot, and there's some notes he's just like, well, I did like the boss's death dread back on the freebooter ship. I did like all the crabby things. They looked cool. So he's just like maybe
Everything
throw back to
slowly
his old
evolves into
crew.
crabs.
He does have
Yeah.
He does have one design like at the bottom of the stack that does draw your eye. It's some sort of like mechanical like ring. And you can't tell what it is, and it's the most crudely drawn of all the sketches. It's like the one that he's spent the least amount of time on.
What about this one? And Sator just shows it to Gizmek.
Really quickly repeat what it was for me because I glazed off for like
It's
half
like
a
a,
second.
it's like a metal like ring or like it looks kind of like a Stargate in a way, for us looking at it as the audience.
A crudely drawn metal ring thing.
But it's like the one you worked on the least. You don't really know it. It's like it just came to you in a dream one day, and like you just drew it down, but like you don't really know anything about it.
If I remember, it was shiny and things could go through it, but otherwise I don't really remember much. Oh, I remember! Gizmek just sort of like slowly taps his head. Remember that one time we was on that planet with all the weird people and the dumb Canadians?
Yes.
It's like that little webway thingy, except not knifey.
You're making a webway gate, but not for the
No, it's not a webway gate. It's a me gate.
Is it
My
only
dad's a later
for
project.
you?
I don't care that much about that.
All right. Well,
Can you hand me that real quick? Just points to like a strange measuring device in like a corner.
as Sator is saying that, he will continue to just mention. I do want to ask if you would like to enter a competition against the Pikey Git.
Oh? Gizmek stops and turns and looks at you.
I'm wish to ask him to see if he can make an improvement on my arm, and I want to see if you can make it better than he would.
This is the spiky Git. There's a knife here, Git. Gotcha. You see, them spiky Gits, Gizmek goes into a long ramble about how spiky Git refers to, like, basically chaos, and Navier is the Eldar, and the homunculus isn't a spiky Git, he's an Eldar. Even though Drakari are very spiky Git-like, they aren't spiky Gits, and you just, like, drones on about this for way too long, and then it eventually gets back to the point.
You get orc taxonomy. Of course, orc taxonomy.
Sator is just thinking that, man, Navigator Court sure has helped me train for this.
Yeah, and after he's done like explaining the logistics of what is spiky Git and what is not, he comes back to the point. He's just like, I mean, you already saw the design.
Mm-hmm. How long do you think that will take you to finish it, though?
Can I roll like a tech use check to get like a vague idea of how long I think it would take to
You could probably finish it if you worked on it by the time you guys arrive at Karsoko.
I could get it done before we arrive.
I'll be right back. My dog has my shoe. I'll be right back.
Nice.
Oh no.
No.
Good. Well, I'll make sure to announce. Let me double check his name because I did have it noted down somewhere. Houndar about it.
Look, I'm making this your specifications, and if it don't fit you, the nearest person that's gonna fit is the other knife you get we got. So if you don't use mine, I'm attaching it to us Sophocles or whatever his name is. Never came up with a
Noted.
good nickname for that kid. I'm a little bit disappointed with myself. Safi,
I'm sure-
Cipher.
I'm back.
So far.
Sulfur. What do you think about sulfur?
Yeah, Sulfur's a pretty interesting kid. He's a knife here. Should I immediately disqualify him from being super orky? But he's an alright kid.
Never mind. What I Sator was like, what about sulfur as his nickname? But now you just went with it.
Yeah, he just jumps off of it.
Well, I'll make sure to tell the spiky knife here get about the competition then. I wish you good luck then.
Ah, he's not spiky, he's just edgy.
Fair
There's a
enough.
difference.
Well, I'll leave you to it then. And
You
Sator
never
will start
told
to
me
make
that
his
measuring tool you get, he says, like throwing like a small bolt at you.
Okay, so we'll move over to Holtz's downtime.
I already described Sator giving it to you, but whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, you
I
did.
think, Holtz would actually head down to Sir Brabant, actually.
Yeah, he's working on fixing a lot of battle damage on his knight. So he's in the shop with all of his hangers on, and he's like supervising a bunch of like armor panels being removed and fixed and put back on. So you come to like a mech bay in a mech warrior game of activity. And he's standing there.
Tell
on
her
like a
Jim has
platform.
had Mech Warrior on his mind as of late.
Yeah. So what do you want? He sees you and nods and gestures you for you to come up onto the platform with him. And yeah, he's like is pointing out what he's doing. He's like, yeah. So this armor panel here is where the corrupted enemy got his chainsword into me here.
Yeah, after like a few minutes of like asking how the repairs are going, Holtz like kind of pivots conversations like, I wanted to talk to you about our meeting that we had a few days ago. I understand. I understand you have a history with the Eldar.
They took my brother, sir.
Yes. Do you remember why I offered you a place on my ship, Sir Province?
I was willing to see what the others would not.
More or less, you were willing to do. You were willing to go against the grain for the sake of the greater for the good of the Imperium, or at least for the good sake of your superiors. I believe that independent thought will become absolutely necessary in the near future.
Well, of all of the enemies that we are bringing to Ahsoka, none of them should be the victor, but one of them might be. I will go with your decision whichever way it goes. It just struck me as humorous that the knife-ear put immediately down his recommendation for his mother's faction. Now, that might still be the right choice, but you shouldn't trust anything that he says. He disobeys your orders repeatedly.
You'd be surprised how much we agree on that, Sir Province, which is why I'm coming to you. I don't trust the Drukhari one little bit. I don't trust.
Did you know that the Harlequin was here by himself after you just specifically told him not to return?
I am aware of a lot of things, Sir Province. I know what happens on my ship.
We almost killed each other, you know.
Yes. And if one of you died, I would have had to kill the other one. principle of the matter. But allow me to continue what I'm saying. I believe, as self-aggrandizing as I am, I believe this is actually important, so listen up. I don't trust the Drukhari one little bit. I will have to go along with their schemes in order to get them on our side. But I fully expect them to backstab us at some point. You, on the other hand, are familiar with their ways. You're the one most likely. If I was a betting man, and I am, I would bet that you would be the one to thwart their plans if given enough leeway.
I would enter a great crusade against them at a moment's notice.
I believe you. Which is why the rest of the ship will be pursuing diplomacy with the Drukhari. I'm giving specifically you and those directly under you leave to pursue objectives as you see fit. Obviously, Safar is under my watch, so do not. And the Drukhari homunculus is also under the purview of my ship. But those outside of it, you may pursue as you please. Do not jeopardize our mission. But other than that, you have my express permission to interpret your orders.
Well met, sir. You will not be disappointed in the wrath that I will deliver to the Drukhari.
Very good.
I will find one of these webway portals as they approach, and I will try to follow them within or to get in there some other way.
Do not sacrifice yourself willy-nilly, Sir Brahmant. I still need you for other objectives. But in this matter, yes.
He nods.
Yeah.
And he says, mission delivered loud and clear. I will redouble my efforts to repair by the time we return to Karsoka. And, we'll let the chips fall where they may.
Glad to hear it, Sir Brahmant. And most likely the Imperium is counting on you.
Yeah, he nods and he screams at his workers like, "Did you know that? We have more missions to do. Get your shit together." And gets back to repairing his heavily damaged knight.
And Holtz walks out while he gets back to work. And that was me trying to set up contingency for when the Drukhari inevitably stab us in the back.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a knight to stab them in the back.
Can I just say that from what we know, Ira has been causing this guy less trouble than fucking Safar.
It'll be like that meme with the people in the church pointing guns at each other, and there's a person set up as a sniper in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Holtz is deliberately trying to set up that meme. So, but yeah.
Great.
But Ira would also be on that list of don't fuck with Ira.
He knows not to mess with those on the ship. He knows his mission is to get out there with his knight and fight. And so he's gonna launch his fortress at some point and try to get into one of those webway portals somehow, so he can actually get at them.
Gotcha.
All right.
Just destroy them and complicate their day.
Yeah. Gizmek. Downtime activity first. well, from that willpower failure earlier in the corruption game, you have a dream after Sator like tasks you with building his claw, and in the dream, Sator is using your claw to mow down hordes of enemies. But at the end of it, he stands up to his full height and looks at you. His eyes glowing green in the darkness, and you wake up.
Oh, that was weird. Just like sits up slowly, like picks up some loose scrap near his bed that he forgot to put away before he went to bed, and just like tosses it loosely aside, and then hops up, steps out of the room, punches the first guy he sees because he is a little bit annoyed from the dream.
Yeah, and you think to yourself, you think to yourself how much everyone was hurt by that fight with all the corn demons and the everything. And if their skin wasn't just so damn fleshy, maybe they would have lived a little better.
Can I just mention that moment would have been perfect if we ever make another animation of this? Just Gizmek wakes up, walks up to the first guy he sees, punches him in the face.
But yeah,
casual
so
Gizmek behavior on his morning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that all your allies are cursed with such malleable flesh. If only they could be encased in armor in the same way that you are all the time.
What about the Space Marines?
Gizmek starts to like slowly plot something of his own, which is very un-Gizmek-like. And in the background, he's gathering up some... Basically, he winds up commandeering some servo skulls at some point that do messaging around the ship and whatnot. And one or two of them he takes and rips apart for the most part, like disassembles like everything except for the like biological portion that is meant to keep it alive, and figures out how to mess with it a little bit. And so he reprograms one of them, puts it back together as if he'd done nothing, and basically sends it to be a spy drone to examine the Space Marine armor so that he can build up some schematics of his own to make power armor. And he once again pulls out his oddly commonly used nowadays human anatomy book and gets to work on the claw with thoughts in the back of his mind of putting Sator in a full suit of power armor.
All right, cool. Give me a tech test.
Right. Well, it's my
no difficulty will count up successes, and we'll see how far you get along with that. If you roll at least 5, you'll finish with the claw.
All right.
Part at least.
Oh boy.
No, you get a complication. You don't get that one.
Okay. You finish the claw in record time.
Yeah. Did you also give yourself
lovely. I already know where this is going.
By the way, did you give yourself all of the Orky bonuses too?
I need you to give me a willpower test.
Hold up. That is correct. I actually would have a double rank because it's an orc tech thing.
Yeah, because we're allowing you to use the neck. They use that on the Necron tech as well.
Nice.
That would have been the test, but we can still keep the complication because I think that's more appropriate and funnier.
Yes, that's a good number of dice. Okay, so
I actually do complete it in record time.
Yeah, actually, you finish the claw and power armor, in time. Give me a willpower test. Difficulty 3. Okay. Take 6 more corruption.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ, man. Gizmek is going to become a fucking puppet for Necrons within the next week.
I am at 13 corruption. I forget if passing 10 as a threshold does anything.
Yeah, it is a threshold. So we're gonna place a thought in Gizmek's mind that he wants to work on a grand construction, which is that Stargate. And he would love to walk through it and all of his friends.
I want to take my friends on a picnic through that portal.
Actually, we'll start with just you want to walk through it, not your friends yet.
I want to go on a picnic on my own through that portal.
Yeah. So next downtime, whenever that will be, that's what you'll start to work on is your grand construction.
Yeah. Last thing before we finish the session, yeah, Sator would tell Houndar that he's now in a competition against Gizmek until we get out of the warp. And he'll be given slightly more extra
Okay. Yeah.
resources than usual.
He works on something in secret. And then we'll have a grand reveal right now. So we're in the combat arena. Gizmek has built for you, Sator, a suit of power armor. With a claw attached to it. The claw is each talon is very long on the claw. It's maybe like between 8 inches and a foot each finger.
And I assume that it's like the entire power claw is its own thing, and it's like he gets into the power armor with his power.
Yeah, so normally a power claw doesn't look like individual fingers. It just looks like something you would like take apart a vehicle with, right? This looks like Edward Scissorhands, where like each individual finger has like a talon attached to it. Also, normally power claws are like extremely bulky, like mechanical part. This one just attaches to your hand directly, and the servos are powered by green energy, and so each of your fingers are powerful enough to wield the talon.
Yep.
The armor itself isn't a bulky like orc heavy armor, but a very nice suit of power armor that is like human sized and kind of like Inquisitor armor in a way.
Yeah, it would be like light but sturdy.
Yeah,
and it would also be like an elongated human because it's fucking Sator, the lanky bitch.
Right. And the design of it is like all of your like bones are like encased in like like skeletal metal, basically. So like in front of like your chest, there's like a rib cage of skeletal metal. Down your arm, there's like a mesh of metal down your legs are covered in meshes of metal. It's got like a very skeletal sort of design to it.
Yep.
Your other friend, Houndar, is standing there with a needle with a glowing orange liquid within.
It's going that route instead.
He steps up to you and he says, "This will be temporary, but I'll be able to provide this fluid for as long as you require." And he like grabs your hand jerkingly and then jabs the needle into it. And then your hand like grows monstrous and bestial, like a monster. With it's like all hairy. It's got like talons, and it stops like halfway up your arm.
Oh, come on! Now I gotta redo all the proportions.
Well, you just take the glove off of one side of the power armor because the claw, like you can basically do both at the same time. You can like dual wield claws. One's a bestial claw, one's this like Necron claw.
Anything that seems weird to Sator for the power armor?
No,
I mean, it's
Alright.
alien tech. Like it's orc and Necron tech. So like,
it's extremely Xenos tech.
Yeah.
you're definitely committing some sort of Xeno heresy. But like, we are with a rogue trader, so it's okay.
Exactly.
So you put it on, and I need you to make me a willpower test, difficulty 6.
Nice.
Yay, complications!
Barely heresy. I do have a reroll.
Yeah, you got Wrath to spare.
Nope.
But you don't get to have fun. But you do. That is a 6. So you do get a glory. If you want to
I
spend
do.
glory.
Yes, we do put a glory in the pool.
Nope.
Oh, you want to use it right now? I don't think you can. I don't think you're allowed to use glory on the roll that you get the 6 on anyway. So
That would be. Yeah, it's whatever.
because otherwise people just use that every time.
Fail.
So we'll put a glory in the pool. But you're going to take 1 corruption, but it's not going to be towards your like chaos corruption. You'll have to set up a separate tracker for Necron corruption.
I'll do it in notes.
Yeah. And yeah, so this armor feels great. Like you're like powered up, like it moves when you move, so it like improves all of your fitness, all your stats basically as you're wearing it, just like a Space Marines would, without having to do the black carapace thing where it plugs into you.
Yep.
And even your like bestial hand has like increased in strength.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you smug bitch.
they wheel out a combat servitor for you to fight. I need you to make me a like a weapon skill test, but give yourself +3 from all of the like stat bonuses.
Yeah, difficulty number.
Let's say difficulty 2.
Rock complication.
Incredible. So you shred this combat servitor, which is a man that is like converted slightly to machinery. And you're standing there over this like shredded up individual. And for a moment you look at the skin you have shredded, and you kind of want to like drape it on you.
Oh, that kind of corruption.
And so you pick up a piece and you like drape it over your shoulders, and you feel like incredible with both of these effects upon you. And so you call the contest a draw. You're gonna keep both things.
It's like
He's
both
back
of
just
them
sort of,
are
like,
way too
narrowly-
great.
He glares at the homunculus and then just sort of like, "You did a good job, mate. All right, say ya." Goes back to his slab.
And then like this like slice of skin that you've draped over your shoulders is like leaking like blood all over your armor and your body, but you don't seem to mind.
Yeah.
It seems to fit, you know.
It
Sator,
just feels right.
Sator becoming a Nurgle corrupted flayed one is really fun to me.
Honestly.
I can't believe you also rolled a complication. So not only is there a complication on the actual armor / gauntlet, but there was a complication on the actual attack. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So I think that is downtime done, and so I think that 1:15 is a good time to stop.
Unless you also want to do the fucking complication that you have written down for Sator too.
I believe that the combined set of complications are the fact that you're sort of now infected slightly by the flayed one curse. So that's interesting.
I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
already took Berserk, so that's even more fitting now.
Now I just have to give
Fucking-
like Holtz the Destroyer curse, and everything will be complete.
Honestly.
Holtz is just sitting here like, no, I'm not.
campaign.
Holtz is sitting here is like, no, I'm not touching the corrupted things. That's what I have people for.
Oh god.
So that's good. So we'll do Safar's downtime next time, and then we'll have a thing. We'll
Yeah.
figure what's
We'll
going
make
on at Karsoka. I need to also see what is even happening now.
Also, the complication that I meant was the one from last session where, I was doing the research thingy and then it got a 1 on the RAS die.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. For now, we are calling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do believe you do have a tendency to cut off the ending very often. I'm going to bash you over the head and say we're done for today.
We're done for today.
Fuck you.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you had fun. Fuck you, too. Have a good one. Say goodbye to the audience.
Goodbye, audience.
Goodbye, the audience.
Bye. Make sure to give me your skin.
Yay. Join our Discord server. Link is up in the top right. dsc.gg/unlucky